doesn't. Everybody probably watched KoopaCon today in chat. Thank you so much for tuning into Final Fan TV. This is the after party. Consider this the after party, as we are going to be celebrating Final Fantasy VII Remake 1 year later with some great content creators, some great minds of the Final Fantasy. And look at this, it's freaking Mo. Mo is here. Wasn't planned.
Hi, everyone.
Is here. Surprise.
Party crasher.
Number one selling author.
Yeah,
Book just sold out.
total disclaimer. Mo is the correct term, not Mike, not Mary, not Mitchell. None of this bullshit that Schrodinger baby seal is trying to pull. But I will answer to that Scottish guy, so anything goes.
Cool.
Yes, as well as Mo, and we're really excited to have Mo here, man. Mo, your book sold out multiple times in less than 10 minutes each time, or not even less than 10. It was less than a minute. It seems like it was flying. So congratulations on that. The KoopaCon stream seemed to went very well for you. The pre-show. So awesome. I'm glad that
congratulations.
When you were on, there was about 800 viewers, so 800 eyes on you, man. That was awesome.
I should have really trimmed my beard for that.
Perfect. We could only look like Blitz. If we could all only look like Blitz, you know what I mean?
Think actually, do you know what to do?
It's way too clean, dude.
Can you just put Blitz on the main screen? You can hear the rest of us. But
hey, I did it myself with the Buster Sword in the back there. You know,
that's
that
right.
thing is,
Let's get that fresh.
You gotta give yourself the edge. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Blitz, first time speaking with you, Blitz. Thank you so much for being on the 1 year later celebration here on Final Fan TV. I really appreciate you stopping in, and this is gonna be a lot of fun. I was hoping to make this more of a one-on-one conversation the first time I got to speak with you, but hey, this is a great time to have it. Great time to have it.
I'll definitely come back for a one-on-one. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Yeah, man. So thank you so much, man. Ready to celebrate? Are you ready to? I know last night you did 11 hours.
Yeah, 11 hours.
Holy shit.
I literally just woke up 2 hours ago.
Woke up and said, "Oh, I gotta celebrate Final Fantasy some more."
Yo, it's when I finished the stream, dude, my adrenaline was pumping. So you can't fall asleep right after that. I was dead tired, but I could not fall asleep. So I literally stayed up till 8 a.m., 9 a.m. and I finally passed out and woke up at 4 p.m. and I'm like, shit, this is life now. Stuck. I spent months trying to get out of this rotation, and I'm back in it right now.
And Viz, speaking of first time talking to people, Viz, this is awesome to be able to meet you from the Cosmo Canyon Observatory. I just love and respect your work that you do over at the Cosmo Canyon Observatory, and it's just awesome. A brilliant mind in the Final Fantasy VII community. And once again, man, I would love to have a one-on-one conversation more about Cosmo Canyon Observatory. But today we're talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. How you feeling, Viz?
Pretty good. I'm not tired yet, despite it being well past midnight right now. It's going good. Will be a good evening.
Yes,
Definitely.
thank you for staying up late and celebrating the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Thank you so much for the
Overlord
invite.
Viz. Oh yeah, man, I'm just really glad to have you.
Great to be here.
We have some returning guests from the State of the Union podcast that we had a few weeks ago, and I'm really excited to talk to you guys because I took a little bit of time. Took a little time to grieve. To vent and let you know some of my concerns about Remake. But you know what? All of that is out the window because after creating Final Fan TV, Final Fan TV was a great way for me to outlet some of these frustrations, connect with people who have the same feelings, and all that was well and good. But I haven't had the chance to tell you guys how much I absolutely loved Final Fantasy VII Remake and all of the things I loved about the game. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about this because I don't want you to think that I just didn't like it. You know what I mean? So here we go. Returning guest, Tatsumaki, an up-and-coming entertainer, live streamer. What's up? How you doing?
Wow. I'm gonna second verse, same as the first. I feel just as inadequate as I do last time being on this panel of people. But no, I love Final Fantasy VII, and I'm probably the only one here who didn't play the game at release. I only played Remake recently. So I'm like, oh, but it's been like a year since it came out. So I've definitely had less time to reflect on it, but I still think, gosh darn, that game do be good, don't it? It's
that fine sauce that Final Fantasy VII
fine
remake.
sauce.
Never too late, man.
Happy to be here. Happy to meet everyone.
Yeah,
honored, genuinely.
We are happy to have you, Tattoo. I'm a big fan of your content so far, man. It's just super entertaining. So glad to have you on the show. And that voice that you heard earlier, just a few seconds ago, was the sweet sounds of Sleep Easy. What's up, Sleep Easy? How are you doing? Video essayist. I had to look that up. I was like,
essayist. I've never heard the term, but now I know.
He's out of his cave.
Oh God, he said too much caffeine.
Term. I was like, what do we call this man? Essayist.
Essayist. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm just really excited to be here with all of you guys. Having been able to get to know everybody individually, had some time recently to finally sit down with Cosmo Canyon Observatory before stream, keeping each other awake and attentive for this moment. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I am super excited to be here with all of you guys. And yeah, happy birthday, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's a fantastic time.
Remake. Very, very wonderful. And then you guys know him from the SEAL Team 7, leader of the SEAL Team 7. It is Schrodinger's baby Seal. What's up?
Hi guys, how are you?
Sound like SpongeBob. Hi, Kevin.
Just go from 11 to just like down to hey guys, how are you guys?
Just tone it down, guys. It's
talk about Final Fantasy.
Let's bring the hot tub meta to this stream.
Oh no.
Mookie bag.
No, I love all you guys. It's weird, like you guys have all. I've had time with literally all of you at this point. You guys, believe it or not, the person I've talked to the least, and the person I've been most excited to talk about is Vincenzo over here.
Yes,
who's
and Pooches
has and Pooches, yeah, and his dog. So I'm very excited to finally get to meet him, because when I was on Forecast with you, he couldn't make it, unfortunately. But no, this happy birthday, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, this is the unofficial, 3-3 was supposed to be the birthday, but etc.
It's a crazy year last year.
Yeah, it's a crazy year. So I think I'm glad we're celebrating it, because Remake got me through this year. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, baby Seal. All right, we're gonna move on over to my partner in crime here on Final Fan TV. He will be moderating chat. You'll know him as the Faraga Fighter. It is Vinny. What is going on, Vinny? How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Also stayed up late last night doing our Materia Lockdown stream, where I was introduced to probably my new favorite Final Fantasy character of all time.
Mookie bag, hello.
I hope that somebody makes a Mookie mod where every character is Mookie. But yeah,
boing, squish.
Yeah, I don't. So the thing about those were in chat box in quotes. So Mookie was making those sound effects himself. So that's what makes it great. But yeah, no, I'm doing all right. A little tired.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Vinny. Thank you so much. All right, chat. I'm gonna go over to you now. How are you feeling? Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you guys are coming off of KoopaCon, which was just a wonderful show. Just wonderful to see the cast together. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well, because man, what a way to celebrate Final Fantasy VII Remake than having that entire cast reunited, or for the first time. For most of them, it was the first time they even met each other. So really cool. And I just really enjoyed it. I thought Alex did a great job. It was just wonderful time. I love the little game that they played. That was cool. It must be dope. Final Fantasy TV. I'm just saying.
We can rebrand it. We can make it better. I promise.
We can make it. But yeah, that was a really awesome stream. So congratulations, KupoCon, for a very wonderful and successful stream. Yeah. So what do you guys? Did you guys have any thoughts coming out of that, or coming off that stream?
I felt the first 10 minutes of it was fantastic.
Oh, man,
best part for sure.
100%.
It was amazing. Like, I've kind of interacted with a fair few of the guys on there. But Cody, I might be wrong about this, but ever since the actual PR drive for Remake died down, Cody has not done a single interview, just because he's an incredibly busy guy.
Oh, hard to find
so
interviews.
to actually get Cody was an achievement in itself.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, it was amazing. Such a good lineup, and the idea of getting each other to do kind of each other's lines in the little game was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
John, I could not stop laughing when John fucked up his line about Mako.
Yeah,
so good, so good.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved it. Like just them going back and forth, just wonderful. So anybody else want to comment on that before we just get to just like, let's just talk about Remake, and also like what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of just our entire experience with Remake. So basically, way back when it was just a thought in your mind that you wanted it to completion, if you know what I'm saying. Just all the way to
you're saying. Oh, we know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying, man. It's just really exciting. I posted earlier this week, but first of all, anybody want to comment more on the KupoCon, the wonderful stream of KupoCon? You guys want to talk about that a little bit
Jesse's
more?
Jesse's Barrett
was
was the sickest idea I've ever heard in my life. Never had a thought in my mind that would just be the coolest thing on the planet. And as soon as she opened her mouth, I was like, where's this fan art? Listen, chat.
She
calling all artists
too.
Yeah,
she flexed very hard after that.
And
too.
there's some real talent in chat too for art. So
listen up. There needs to be this Jesse Barrett rule, whatever it is, gender bend, whatever you need to do. Just make whatever that is a realization of some kind. I would love to see that whole character realized. Would be fantastic. I'm a huge fan of that. So
yes,
it was mad seeing Erica do it as well. It was like a proper professional at work.
It was a performance in itself.
Like that is top quality. Just
to
do that with with like zero kind of forewarning. She just did it.
She just did it. When John Bentley though did Cloud, we've had the privilege of speaking with John Bentley on Final Podcast. I think it was 4. Final Podcast 4. We spoke with John Bentley, and we played a little game at the end of that one. It was Mad Libs. So we did kind of something similar where we basically took one of his lines and then had him replace words within his line, and then he had to say it back in Barrett's voice, and he did. It was hilarious. And then he said, I can do that in Cloud's voice too, if you want. And I went, well, I'm not going to stop you. Please go ahead. That would be just fantastic. And then he did it in one of the lines that will always stick with me, because he replaced one of the words with squat. And he was like, you're just going to squat there? That was just the best. So yeah, I got to hear John Bentley's do Cody Christian impersonation before, and it was amazing. And then of course Remivel saying Brit's Cloud, and yeah, it was just wonderful. Great stream, great fun. So yeah, we're gonna go on to talking about Remake, and let's just take a trip down memory lane, shall we? So one of the things that happened for me personally was 2005, I believe it was, when the PS3 tech demo. And I believe this is probably when everyone just like ignited with this passion for a remake for Final Fantasy VII. So you have this beautiful redone scenario of Cloud on the train jumping off, and boom, it was so tight. And then PS3 technical demo, and I think everybody just kind of came out and was just like, yo, we want a remake. And for me, that's when it started. I think full force. Square Enix kind of moved on and started, announcing a compilation, which was wonderful. We were all like, "Thank you for sequels and prequels," but we really want this remake. So can we make that happen? And I think it happened in Crisis Core. This would also made me just reignited it a bunch of times throughout the years. At the end of Crisis Core, in the post credits, I think it was, same scene but redone again, and we're like, wait, what is it? To be continued in Final Fantasy VII. What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say? You trying to say remake or what? And they didn't. So I had some posts that I gathered from Facebook, which is on Facebook you can search and you can find posts that you've made from certain years, and you can go backwards from there. I posted this on Twitter earlier this week, but I want to share it here because this is quite the journey. This is quite the journey. Let me find this post. There it is. Boom. I'm gonna bring it up, and then I'm gonna share my screen. Share screen. And then that way we can take a look at this together. Okay. I think everybody can see this. All right. This is May 20th, 2011. Hideo Kojima, we all know him as the creator of Metal Gear, revealed on his Twitter page that himself, Tetsuya Nomura, Yoichi Wada, and Yoji Shinkawa, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm so sorry, they all had a dinner yesterday, and they talked about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Kojima told Nomura to remake Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, Nomura, listen to him and the billions of people that want and need this. So this, I got this, I remember because there was a website I used to follow. It was called themagicbox.com, and they always had information before any of the other gaming outlets. It was awesome. And then of course in May 20th, 2012, so 1 year, exactly 1 year later, get your priorities straight, Square Enix. You know what I'm saying? Square says Final Fantasy VII Remake is not a priority. And then June 26, 2012. So Final Fantasy VII creator says he won't remake he won't remake Final Fantasy VII until another Final Fantasy surpasses the quality of 7. And I said, looks like there will never be one made, because the only thing that can surpass Final Fantasy VII is Final Fantasy VII. So we go over, and then I was just talking about how much I don't know how my body would react to that. So, and I'll show you a clip earlier of how it did react to that. So there's that. And then we go on to February 20th, 2013. Look at the series of events, right? I didn't have a Facebook 2011 prior to 2011. So there was so much more to this, right, guys? Since 2005, we're talking. This is almost every year. 2013, February 20th. Holy mother of God. I don't even know what I was referring to here, but it was a teaser of something, and it didn't happen. And then December 6th, 2014, I don't know if this hit anybody as much as it hit me, but when they were like, Final Fantasy VII comes to the PS4, and I was like, oh my freaking God. And then they kicked me in the balls with a steel toe boot. You know what I mean? Because all it was
Please Be Excited. Yeah.
It was the Steam version of it's ported over.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too much longer after that. Only 6-7 months later, it happened. Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced. All right, so let me bring that video up real quick. Okay. Also, before then, it was in April, or not April. I'm sorry. It was sometime before, a couple months before, when I was like, Final Fantasy VII Remake at an E3 2015 press conference. What? And then it happened, and then I called my mom. Oh, wait, I have to share audio as well. Let me stop this.
Mom. Oh my God.
let me share audio as well. So we go over to this. We'll do this. We'll press play.
I felt the same pain.
Gotta answer. Mom.
Please welcome Andrew.
Mom, they did it. They did it, Mom.
What?
They did it.
Good evening, everyone.
Like
Final
what?
Fantasy VII remake. No, Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
Oh, they did it.
Oh, that's good, Danny. I thought something was wrong.
It's okay. Nothing's wrong. Nothing. Everything is right in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Mom.
That's good, Danny. I'm happy.
Just like
Oh God. Okay. All right.
So wholesome.
So yeah, that
Genuine
was
concern for your life was priority.
Yeah.
And only the subtle sprinkling of remake to just be like, okay, all right.
it's beautiful.
That's
You,
the light at the end of the
you laugh
tunnel,
about that
Anderson.
now, but she obviously inspired you to stick up your art the other week.
This is true.
That's true.
My mom is wonderful. I love my mom. All right, guys. So, but yeah, I had to call somebody, and my mom was the first one on the list. You know what I mean? Call my mom.
Gotta get,
Say,
gotta
Mom,
get
they
her on
did it.
thing.
They did it. So I was so excited for that, and I just wanted to take you guys through that journey, because yeah, I mean, we've been looking forward to this since 2005. I feel like at least since 2005, and I don't know about you guys. When they announced remake, that was just freaking awesome. Blitz, how are you feeling that day? Because I wanted to see if you had a reaction video, and I don't think you even had a YouTube at that time.
Yeah, I wasn't posting regularly. Back then, I really didn't start taking like, YouTube and like really try to make content out of it until like late 2016. And around that time when the news had dropped, I was working and I was trying so hard to look at the trailer on my phone, but my boss kept like looking at me and I kept like turning in different angles to like, make sure he didn't see me. Finally got to go on lunch and saw that shit, and my adrenaline was like pumping like insanely. So, just super excited for it, and then like I think later that year, was it he got put into Smash, or was it the December prior? I can't remember, but that was just a crazy like sequence of events just for me personally, because I was playing a lot of Smash and I was trying to make like Smash content on YouTube, but it was just like regular gameplay really. But dude, like to see where it's come to like now in 2020, like that shit just changed everything for me personally. And I love this game so much. It means a lot to me. Everybody, the developers, the creative directors, the actors, everything that went into making this game, man, truly phenomenal. And what an experience that I was able to like, have with, for myself, but also share it with the rest of the community and build up this channel that I have right now and just enjoy this stuff on a regular, and I'm happy to say this is something that I do like as my full-time job now. And it's really a blessing, to see something that was such a childhood, like it was a big deal for me in my childhood, like Final Fantasy, my dad and mom, like, they know they pretty much react the same way as like your mom with your love for it. But they know how much this game means to me. And to be able to see like, me able to now as an adult, achieve a good future for it, it feels great. It feels amazing. And I'm 100% thankful for everything that's been happening over the last year. And looking forward to the next couple of 10 years more. We have extra content coming. It's insane.
None of us, let's just be honest, none of us are making it to the end of this remake. We're not.
Nobody's
seeing the end of it.
This is my kid's gonna have to tell me. He's gonna be like,
yeah.
It's tell me in.
Son, is it
Let's
finished?
go. Did they do it?
Did the flowers mean anything, Jonathan? No, Dad, they didn't. And then you just hear.
I think what we're going to have to do is just breed ourselves with Red 13 to prolong our lives.
That's right. We just get a title card that says 100 years in the future, and that's all of us just sitting on a video call.
2.
Yeah, 500 years later, third compilation.
The chat just gets to see a live cam footage of all of us, our graves next to each other, live streaming the final events. Our reaction video is gonna be us all in coffins. Anyway, what?
Yeah. And only one of us will be rolling over in that grave.
Only one of us?
Only one?
Yeah,
only
you
one.
Obviously.
Me? I'll be so my bones will be caffeinated. Don't you worry about that.
Viz, what was your reaction to the 2015 like reveal? What was it that you were feeling when you saw that trailer?
It was quite interesting because at that time I didn't really watch E3 live anything. So a day later, I scrolled through my news feeds and websites, gaming websites I usually go to, and then I scrolled through Final Fantasy VII remake trailer reveal. It's like, what are you on about? I clicked it, watched it, and I think I just felt like in a dream or something. It's hard to remember because it was so strange. It's later. I think it was the PlayStation Experience event where I watched it live. It's completely different when you watch it live and you don't really know if it's coming, what's exactly coming. And especially if you watch it with other people together, it's so much different. But this, I wish I could have watched the reveal firsthand, because after that I watched the whole thing, like the little bit before and after, so that I could check the reactions of the crowd. And before was just World of Final Fantasy. Yeah, cool. It was cheapy and nice and colorful. Right. Really nice one. And then some live stream in the background. I don't remember the guy who announced it, but he knew exactly what was going to happen. You saw it on his face with his smile.
He was so ready. He's like, I'm about to be a part of a legend.
I feel bad for the developers like that work really hard on World of Final Fantasy. They're just like, do we have to go before that, or is it? I feel bad. I feel even worse for whoever was talking. Like, still to this day, I just watched the reaction again, and I still don't know what they revealed afterwards. I think it was Shenmue 3. I have no idea. Yeah, and I was just like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter what they were shown in after that. Like, I was done. I called everybody on my phone contact list. That video that I showed you, that was only like 2 minutes out of like a 30-minute video of me just calling friends and telling them that like I don't know what to do with my body. I think I might get naked. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Normal reactions.
Normal reactions.
Normal reaction is nudity.
Nudity. Yeah, I just want to.
Speaking of reactions, reactions is actually what then got me really into it and into the feels, because watching others react to all of this really got me almost crying sometimes, because I knew exactly what was happening, and then I knew exactly what the other person probably would be feeling, and then each time the word remake came on, I just felt it over and over and over again with each reaction I saw. It was so awesome. I probably had to like catch up on what I missed.
Yeah, you're right. I just watched this a bunch of times just to make sure we caught everything.
Yeah.
Baby Seal, I'm curious, because you're so stoic right now, like, just did you just erupt in emotions? Like, did you just go crazy when you saw the 2015?
Well, so I was at the E3 in 2005.
You were
when
they revealed the tech demo, and I about shit my own head. I saw Cloud, and I'm like, this better mean something, or I'm gonna ice all you fools. Like, I was so into it, like, and I was really excited. As far as when and then I got really, I'm like, I think Mo and I are kind of on the same boat. We got really deep into the compilation too, and which happened after that. And I will admit that it was that tech demo that even got me, just had my eyes peeled on the compilation. Like, I had, I modded my PSP so I could play Crisis Core. I had a Japanese copy of Dirge of Cerberus that I didn't understand at all while I was playing, and I bought a Disney game because Cloud was in it. Like, I was
invested heavily,
and so I was way in, and some time had passed from the compilation, to the point that remake was announced. But I remember it was actually like a student that was playing the remake trailer on their phone. That
You're
was
like, give me
how
that.
how I first found out
Confiscating
about
this
it.
shit right now.
And I did. I found an excuse to like not be doing what I was supposed to be doing to go watch that trailer. And I remember going, oh man, this is gonna be problems whenever this comes out. I'm gonna have to like I was already planning like, you know, the illness that the month-long illness I would need to play the game. But then as it came out later that it was only going to be Midgar and went into development hell and stuff like that, I got a little bit more stoic. But once 20, like the end of 2018 came around, and then I started to get really excited again, really excited again.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. How about you, Sleep Easy? What was going through your mind, man? We're sticking on this reveal right now. What was going through your mind during the 2015 reveal?
So I actually I hadn't really thought of this until you asked the question, like where exactly I was during that period of time. And I remember that I was actually at a friend's party in college the night before E3 was happening. And then I believe it was in my time zone at the time, it was in the morning, but me and my friend, who like everybody's like drinking and having like a good time, and me and my friend were sitting in the corner talking about what we were expecting out of this E3. We were really big into like playing games together or sharing that kind of discussion. And I remember waking up hungover and sitting on a couch and being like, every announcement here is like mind-blowing after mind-blowing after mind-blowing, like Shenmue 3, like Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I think there was even like another big announcement during that time. But it was just, when it happened, I was not as excited for it as like I would be now. But I was more excited for the people around me that really enjoyed these games so much more. And I remember watching these games, like most RPGs that like my brother or my cousins would be playing, like that's where the magic of all of these games came from, was other people's enjoyment of them. And it was just and in that moment, it was my friend who was very excited to know that game was coming, and I was excited for everybody. They were finally getting what they wanted. And I think that's what I remember most about those announcements. It was like everyone's just getting something that they've just been dying to get for so long. And then obviously Remake has been like a huge part of like my life ever since. And I've experienced the compilation between now and then. I really didn't know about the tech demo. I wasn't like engaged with it on that level until later. But it obviously became super important to me because, sort of like Viz had put, is that like through osmosis of everybody's collective like hype of this thing, I started getting more and more and more and more roped into just being a part, wanting to be a part of what this was. And then finally, when the game came out, it was a golden opportunity because it allowed me to sort of step into the community in a way where I felt like I could actually contribute something new to that community that was growing, is because people were just all trying to figure out what was going on. And it was all downhill from there, and now I'm here. So with all of us,
Rufus being a
slid to the bottom of this hill.
That's right. And now we're all at the mercy of Square Enix, waiting for Intergrade and all subsequent sequels. But it honestly, the only payoff of this, and this is going to sound really, I don't know, gooey, but the chance to actually experience all of this with you now. Not only like this celebration, but like going forward, knowing that like I have so many of you guys like to look at and see like what's coming down the tube from each one of you, and be able to share the excitement of it is going to be fantastic. So I'm more excited. I was excited back then, way more excited now to just see what's happening and to be involved in all of what you guys are doing. So yeah, that's sort of where I see things going and how I got here. So
Awesome. Mo, I'm kind of curious what was going through your mind in 2015 on that reveal.
I'll get to that in a second, but it's just
listening
to Sleep Easy. I can't echo his words strongly enough that I think I've been plugged into the Final Fantasy VII community for a long time, but I can't remember engaging with people to this extent before part 1. But I think it's going to be really difficult that we don't spoil the game for one another. When it comes out.
Yo, did you see that?
We're all just
dark,
like
man.
starting at hour 0 of its release. We're all just going to be playing it simultaneously.
Speak for yourself, man. I got my plug in Miami. This dude gets video games a week early.
Oh,
I'm going to that guy.
dude, that's it. We're all
okay. So we're all going to Miami.
Yeah,
calm down, man. I got room for you all.
Yeah, dude. We'll all just sit next to each other and experience it.
What a party that would be! Oh my god.
Yeah,
I would.
I'm down.
I mean,
that would be the reaction video of the century. That
would be right, like a group reaction of
everyone literally
microphone
would
break.
Yeah,
crackle.
It would just immediately peak, and you would hear none of the audio.
Just
and
be like white noise. Just be noise.
Just Baby Seal's taking his top off. Sleep Easy's already got a Genesis theory.
Talk about nudity, guys. That would be the thumbnail of a century. All of us jumping at the same time. Freeze frame for the thumbnail. Bunch of pixelation.
I'll put little mini meteors over our,
There you go.
Just little mini meteors.
It has to be a hot tub thumbnail though.
Oh,
that's what's going to attract the most viewers.
That's right.
Hot tubs in 2021 are a crazy item now.
That's it.
It has to be hot tubs.
And we'll sell them.
Why aren't we in hot tubs right now? Actually,
why are we?
I am. You don't know where I am at.
You don't know where I'm at right now.
That is true.
Can't see the lower half of me.
I'm happy to piss my own pants and just to kid on him in a hot
So Mo, speaking of pissing your pants, did you when in 2015 like don't be ashamed, it's okay.
Well, you joke about it.
I don't think he's ashamed.
I needed a clean pair of shorts. I'm not gonna lie.
I can't remember what time. What Sleep Easy said it was AM. I don't know if was it in Japan the E3 that one that was revealed, or was it actually in the US?
I don't know. I think
E3
it was
is always
US.
in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's all Los Angeles for the
It was just early.
pretty much every year. Besides I guess those 2 years.
My sense of time is off.
My obviously I'm in the UK, so the time of it was pretty weird. I had a pretty substantial Facebook page on the go for a number of years because I've been writing my Final Fantasy books. So I woke up at like 4 a.m. to this shitload of messages. Like, what is going on? Like, it's one of two things: is either something really, really bad has happened, or it's Final Fantasy VII remake.
Two possibilities.
That's the two possibilities. So of course I watched the trailer at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. whatever it happened to be, and was just blown away. I'm like, oh my god, this is absolutely incredible. And I went to work that day, like in a total daze of already my mind starting to go. And I vividly remember I was still relatively active on the livestream.net at the time. And I remember getting a message or starting a conversation with Shade MP about the whole thing and just discussing it. And very quickly we came to the decision that we were actually going to do a step-by-step breakdown. So I took the afternoon off my work. And actually, he and I discussed a few things that he had seen and a few things that I had seen. And we very quickly put together, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure we were the first ones to do a step-by-step, a total breakdown of that trailer with all the Easter eggs and whatnot, and like Mr. Dolphin appearing on one of the kids' t-shirts and things like that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just total mad stuff that was going on. And you can actually still see it on the livestream.net. They've still got it up, the article. So that's how I spent the first 24 hours of the announcement, or even the first 12 hours when I found out, is actually writing an Easter egg article for the livestream.net.
Nice. That's awesome. You just when you so that's what the trailer did to me too. Just watch it over and over and over. You just go into the YouTube video and you can hit like, what is it? I think it's just like period or whatever, and you can just go frame.
Yeah. So it was so good. I mean, like it's kind of mad. Obviously, I've been doing my videos now, and each of us as content creators have been doing this, but it's kind of weird to know that was kind of the first time I'd ever done a breakdown. So like 2015, you know, before Tatsu was born, sort of thing. Like,
whoa, what?
Tatsu is sick.
Hanging out, man.
Yeah, dude, he's just fucking chilling over there. He
Tender
hasn't
age
even-
of 2.
Tender age.
Well, I go
His
find my
mind was
booster
still
seat.
developing.
so that was the only way I could think of a segue to get Tatsu in.
Yeah, to get the Tatsu. Well, Tatsu, you're
Insult
new
him.
to Final.
I
like,
am.
you just played Final Fantasy VII, like the original, for the first time.
Yeah, it hasn't even been a year yet. And again, I still hold that game remarkably high because even all the praise I've heard, it's like, okay, it's like when people set up your expectations for something. You're like, they tell you like, oh, you gotta see this, or you gotta play this. So
Yeah.
even going into the game with that, it still blew my expectations like out of the water.
Good.
We're not talking about the original, but in terms of, I've always like FF7's always been such a staple in like just gaming overall. So I've obviously like when the remake got announced, like it fucking like it doesn't matter like what kind of games you really played, like you definitely heard about it. And I remember even I watched the trailer a lot. Like I didn't feel anything for the character stuff. I was just like, oh, that looks cool. That looks really fucking cool. And I've always been like interested in playing it eventually, but it was at the time I wasn't as attached to it, but I watched a lot of reaction videos to it just because at the time, like just seeing so many people get this thing that they've been wanting for so long, because it was turning into something where like I remember there were memes about it. Even like there were jokes about like in case of like at Square Enix headquarters, there's like in case of emergency break glass,
Yeah,
and it's
I
just
remember
FF7 remake on inside. So like stuff like that. So it's always been something, and I think even like the first thing I saw I really paid attention was the opening, because they released the initial like redone opening with Aerith and everything in the train. And then I had learned that apparently like the camera just pans around and you're just playing, and I was like, that's stupid, like that's ridiculous. And most of my like nostalgic background comes from Kingdom Hearts and stuff, of course, which they kind of do a terrible job of characterizing all of the Final Fantasy characters.
They're all like children or just not, you know.
It's just like Cloud's just like annoying. It's not the same Cloud, but even because I knew
awesome,
like
though.
yeah
Bandages on a sword.
everyone because that whole fan base kind of follows Nomura pretty religiously, so everyone
His
was
sword
obviously
was wounded like his deep soul. Okay.
So obviously there was a lot of comparisons as well. Even like the newer combat, I kept a close eye on it because I was seeing what that could draw in terms of like, because Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't out yet by then either, because I was like, well, this could be telling, because he's directing like all these different games at once, and he's a crazy fucking person. Or at least has his hand in all these different games. But I wasn't like extremely excited. I was more excited as I was playing through the original. As I was playing through the original, I'm like, I cannot wait to see. So I was kind of starting to understand. I was starting to get it. And I didn't have the time to like foster that over years and years. It was kind of like, it was already out. So I was just kind of like, I kind of got to go like, I'm already excited to see how are they going to handle this? How is this going to look? Because there's certain set pieces where I'm like, oh, this is just going to be better. And the remake, like, I don't know.
I think that's what's awesome about having you on, Tattoo. I'm not gonna like I love being able to have you on these. You say at the beginning of the show you feel outclassed or something like that, but I love having you on the show because you bring this freshness to it. Like you know, you're going into this without having this build up since 2005. Like, but you bring a whole new perspective to it that even new players, like even people that are new to Final Fantasy VII, like are still really excited about it, and the game still has that impact, and that for me that just I love hearing that. I love hearing that people say, hey, I played Final Fantasy VII the original for the first time and I freaking loved it, because I'm always afraid that people are gonna be like, oh yeah, now that game didn't age well, which I don't
No,
understand.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad it's not a nostalgia thing, because it's like I
Yeah,
feel like so many
exactly.
older games, it's definitely something where people attach nostalgia to stuff, and I don't have any nostalgia attached to the characters even. Like I like Cloud, I guess, because he's been a bit of an icon, but I don't
Mhm.
know anything. I don't have any like personal attachment to him.
That's awesome.
So then when like seeing people in remake, I freaked the fuck out because I was like, it's Baron and fucking.
Oh my god!
But it's just like, I don't know. It's great.
Vinny, I don't think I've ever gotten to really hear what your reaction to the 2015 what like. I know you're a big fan of Final Fantasy VII. Obviously, we talk about that a lot on the show. But what was your reaction to when they did that?
I don't think we ever actually talked about that, but I was actually on a house fire when it was announced, and it was an exceedingly long house fire. I don't think I got back into the fire department until about like 2, 3 in the morning, and I don't bring my phone with me when I go out. So when I got back, I had like, I don't know, I'm not exaggerating, maybe like 150 to 200 missed calls from my one friend, and I was like, what is this? I was like, what could
Is
have
your
happened?
house on fire?
Yeah, right. It's like, what possibly could have happened? So I call him back, and he goes, dude, I've been trying to get in touch with you. I was like, yeah, I know. I saw. He goes, did you see? I was like, see what? He goes, because he's the one who got me into Final Fantasy VII when we were both younger, and so I was like, what, like, what's going on? He goes, dude, they're remaking Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, yeah, no, people have been joking about that for years, dude. And he goes, no, this is real. And I was like, okay. So he sent me a link, and I watched it, and I just felt like so many different things, because like prior to that day, I was one of the people going like, I live in a generation where they stopped making original ideas. All movies that are coming out are remakes of movies that came out 20, 30 years ago. And so I was always saying stuff like that. And I felt so hypocritical to be so hyped over it. Because I was like, they're remaking something. At first I was like, oh, this is a cash grab, and I was like, no, this is what everybody's been asking for. And then I was like, but I was going back and forth with so many things. So I was like, I really hope they don't screw it up, because I was expecting a 1-to-1 ratio. Like I've been hoping for a game for Final Fantasy VII remake ever since I played Final Fantasy X, and I wanted back when Final Fantasy X was new, I wanted a Final Fantasy VII that was in the graphics of Final Fantasy X back then. And then I was like, I really hope this doesn't take away from the original, because I don't want I didn't want like a generational thing where they were like, remake is so much better than the original, and that's just what ends up happening. Like, whatever generation you're from, whenever it came out, that's usually the one you're geared more towards. And because I love original, and I don't think anything is ever going to take its place as far as like the feelings I felt with that. Like 10 is obviously my favorite, but 7 is, I have more emotions with 7, and I just didn't want the remake to take away from that. And but I was still excited. I was super excited for it, but I was
a lot of like concern as well as excitement, right?
Yeah, because it was like, I didn't create Final Fantasy VII, but I was like, I still had this mentality of like, I wanted to protect its innocence and its integrity. Like,
I must protect it.
Yeah, and I was excited for it, but I was just like kind of like holding it like, all right, like I feel like I need to be on the directive staff to tell them what they can and cannot do with a remake, So I was like, I just didn't want them to screw it up. I was so worried about that. But overall, I was super excited for it. And then I don't need a reason. I never need an excuse or a reason to replay through Final Fantasy VII Original, but I use that as my excuse to replay through Final Fantasy VII Original that year, because I usually play through it like 3 times a year.
So, yeah, right. For me, it's once every year. I always play once every year.
So I don't know if you had something after that, but I asked chat their reactions, and I wrote that all down.
Let's cover because we're about to move on to the next step, the next phase.
So
phase 2. FCU.
Is it oil wrestling?
MCU?
Please be oil
No.
wrestling.
Hot tub wrestling.
I've been ready for that since the beginning, and I've just been sitting here.
I was wondering why you've been in my hot tub.
You invited me, so I felt obligated to oil it before then. So
yeah,
I hope whoever my opponent is doesn't mind pissed pants.
Yeah. I don't know why he asked.
I encourage it actually.
Wanted me to have the Mookie outfit on. I was just.
It's not an outfit. It's just what?
We
gave just a speedo. That's not an outfit.
No, but you gotta like shave the beard in the right way.
That's not part of an outfit. That's just his facial hair. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's an outfit.
No, it's not.
It's a look.
Tatsu. This is bullshit.
We're reading chat. Sorry. I'll argue with him later.
When we played Final Fantasy VII Materia Lockdown last night, I gave Mookie that voice. By the way, that's it sounds a lot like what is it, Watto from Star Wars? Yeah. You know, Mookie back again. All right. So go ahead, Vinny. Read some stuff from chat. Let's hear them.
So I'm sorry if I butcher anybody's names, because some people throw numbers in there. But so Arsomnia said the day remake was announced, I bounced in my chair so much that it broke.
Yeah, it's right. Read that one.
Oh my god. Gaming
that.
Kutakuma said nothing else mattered after that announcement. I distinctively remember exactly where I was, and then like not being able to process anything for the rest of the E3 presentation.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I threw all of my belongings into
Kutakuma had a really deep voice before then as well.
I quit my job. I threw my phone into a river, my wallet, all of my social security information, and I lived off
Started a new life, reborn.
Nothing mattered after that. That's how I felt. I'm totally with you.
Rimavel said, I texted my BFF, told my mom, who had no idea what the F was happening, so she just said, "I'm happy for you." kind of like Dan's mom. Cryosis said, I was so scared I was going to die before the game came out.
I feel that like all the time. Like
that's
with
a pretty rational fear.
God.
I felt that
legit. I'm legit worried about that. Like it's yeah.
I have that with like even if I buy a game that I'm super excited for, and I'm like on the way back to my house, I'm like I get hit by a bus. Like what happens?
What happens here?
And it's like I'm more worried about
similar
that
we all are.
I'm like in others. I'm just like if I die right now, never get to play it.
Oh man.
Zombie Nug said their heart was pumping, sweat leaking, and a nostalgic feeling that I was gonna feel that same energy again for a video game. Again with 7.
Yes.
Crab A said I yelled like a kid.
Yeah. That's what I did.
That's all I got for
it's weird to think that the entirety of like what we know now as like the gaming industry was sort of defined a little bit by that moment in E3's history where you had all of these dream come true moments just pop up and now
shattered by one.
Yeah, literally just that one series of announcements, and now look at like where we are today. Like there are countless remakes of classic games, and some may be executed better than others in other people's opinion, but like some redefining like moments in gaming history came from the industry's shift into, people want these moments back. And it's not like a movie where like an actor is like the actors are too old to play these roles anymore. No, like we can bring literally everything back to life, and we can give these moments back to people. Like I was playing Resident Evil 2 recently, the remake of that for the first time.
I watched that, yeah.
And it was unbelievable how much of it felt like a reimagining of just the moments of like fear and just the attention to detail to allow that to like almost feel like you were playing it all again. And that's sort of how remake feels. It has that level of awareness. It's just interesting to say that a trailer did that for the gaming industry, not the game.
That's definitely movies. I was just gonna say that in terms of how remakes and how cash grabby they can be, it feels like with gaming, it definitely is I feel like it's a lot different because I think gaming is still a pretty young a form of like media. In terms of also, and it's like every year, like every year, it's like pushing it's just pushing everything further. So of course you're gonna be like, well, how would this play, or what would this look like if it was updated to today's standards? With movies, you could most often you can just kind of go like, well, I'll just watch the old one.
Yeah, exactly.
Real quick, big thank you to Skittle. Thank you for all this.
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
Skittle.
I just noticed.
Yeah, thank you
Legend.
so much, Skittle.
If you're not following Skittle, you should. She's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. I hope everybody.
She's gonna
goes
stream
check
tomorrow. Please.
out. Sweet.
Stay
And
tuned
then
for
so it's funny that you brought up Resident Evil, because I have a friend who's like, his Final Fantasy VII is Resident Evil. So like so when they announced that Resident Evil 2 was getting remade, I'm like, oh my god, we have remakes coming for both of our favorite games. And then his came out first. And then I was like, okay, well, mine was announced like a couple years ago. You know,
I
really wish
win
could
on
get mine.
announcements.
And then they announced Resident Evil 3 was getting remake, and that one came out before. I was like, come on, man! Like, you got 2 remakes. I just want mine.
Well, so to be fair, and this might not be the popular decision, but to me, Resident Evil 4 is probably the best one they ever put out, and
it might
that's the
happen.
one. Well, no, it's
That's
happening.
my favorite one.
Yeah,
Resident Evil
I've heard
4
it was
was
reset.
amazing.
4 made it like the series, like for me, like talk
Absolutely.
about constantly redefining like what that genre is. Like every step of the way, like it was just new and different and changing it up, and kind of like the fact that like there's a very clear debate between like remake Resident Evil 1 and 4 then, and now Resident Evil 2 is on that list, and that's like Crab A just dropped.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Hey,
Thank you,
I was
Crab.
waiting for the opportune moment, but this is the opportune moment right here. Crab A, thank you so much for all those gifted subs. Made a friend this week, and Crab A, he actually reached out through a Twitter message and it's just so super supportive and friendly. We kind of bonded over Kind of Funny, which is my favorite podcast out there. So we kind of bonded over that, but it turns out it's just an awesome person. And wow, thank you so much for the gifted subs. It's just really cool.
Yeah, and Crab A is part of Blitz's community, and I was introduced through Blitz. Blitz's community is very, very nice, and I love that all of our communities are very well represented here. We've got people from Cosmo Canyon Observatory, including Kairosis, who, if anybody has the chance, please check out Kairosis's cover of Hollow. In my humble opinion, it is better than the original.
Is that Kai from
really
that's
good.
Kai from the Reunion podcast, right? Yeah, just right. That's Kai from yes. Just that is a very phenomenal rendition of that song. Like I agree with. I'm just going to echo Baby Seal on that one. Please go check that out. Did an awesome cover for the Cosmo Canyon Observatory. Just really cool. To kind of shift gears, we're not shift gears, but we're gonna just kind of shift gears into like we're drive, baby. We're rolling through this now. Woo, here we go. Final Fantasy VII remake has been announced in 2015. I kind of want to share this story because this is how like Final Fantasy VII. If you've watched a Final Fan TV show, you've probably heard my story, so I'm not going to like repeat that again. But you would know how important Final Fantasy VII is to me. And then to have E3, we talked about E3, and Baby Seal, I'm super jealous that you were there at 2005. I've dreamed of going to E3. I would say since I knew what it was, I would probably go back to 2002. I have the DVDs. Remember the DVD box sets they came out with the E3 access? Just a long time. I've been dreaming about going to E3, and I got to go to E3 2019. It finally was able to do it. It finally opened up to the public. My wife, we basically we just had a kid, and I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it now, but if there's going to be a chance to do it, it should be now. E3 is kind of starting to lose steam, and I'm afraid for its future. I want to make sure I do it, and my wife was super supportive over it, and I got to go to E3 2019. Not only did I get to fulfill that dream of going to E3, somehow the fates aligned. Final Fantasy VII Remake was on the show floor for people to play, which was just mind-blowing. A lot of other things just completely aligned for me, and the only thing I can say is that I guess it was meant to be, and I feel very blessed that all of this happened. But I also got to go to FanFest, Bethesda Showcase. I got to do all of these things that just was very hard to get into. But I also was the very first, there I am right there holding the ticket, one of the very first to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I mean very first, because I was on the show floor, sharing the show floor with industry members. So I had VIP access because I went out and bought the full thing. I just went all out. I was like, this is the dream, doing it with like industry member. It was like standing in line with somebody from GameSpot.
That is fucking dope. That is cool as hell.
Shit.
So amazing. I was the second wave in. So one wave got in to play it for the very first time. The second wave got in, and I was in the second wave. I actually was stupid, and I was so excited, and I was just running through it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm just playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is great. And I get to the boss fight. I just beat the Scorpion in no time, and I'm like, yeah. And then I look around, and everybody's still playing, and I'm like, oh crap. What did I do? I can't play anymore. Like I just ran through this. What did I do? And then like I basically somebody was like, you can come over here, and I'm like, oh, can I restart? Can I restart? And she was like, no, you can come over here and wait for everybody. And I was like, okay. And then like I got to talking to her. Funny thing, QA for Kingdom Hearts, as I was just talking to, that was pretty interesting. So it was just what amazing experience that was, right?
So Daniel.
Yeah.
I was in the second wave too.
You're on the second wave.
What?
Do you remember a crazy guy?
Wow, that's fucking cool. So wait,
I remember
what?
Mike Shinoda.
When worlds collide.
And then speaking of, okay, so there's Tim Geddes. I said
there's
earlier.
Clark. Holy shit!
Yeah, you just see him in the background.
Just looking over your shoulder.
Just like walking in the background.
That'd be so funny.
Speaking of kind of funny, earlier I said they were my favorite podcast. Well, Tim Geddes, one of my favorite video game journalists, and I got to meet him. That was amazing. And this is all, I mean, like, it's just so amazing that all this came together with Final Fantasy VII. Speaking of Mike Shinoda,
the legend,
boom, just walking by, and I have an amazing story with that. So he's walking down the Nintendo booth, and like, my friend, like all of a sudden I felt like a pitter patter on my chest, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like I looked over at my friend, and I looked ahead of me. I went, oh my god, and then I started patting, bro, and then he started walking to. I said, Mike, and he was like, and I was like, can I get a picture? And he was like, oh yeah, sure, man, sure, real quick. And you could tell he was trying to be discreet. He didn't want to get a lot of attention. And I'm standing there, and I brought the camera out, and then my friend over here on the right was already walking towards the entrance. We were about to leave. We were about to catch a Uber and go home. And he's walking, and I said, oh no. I grew up with my friend over here, and Linkin Park we write songs together. And we were inspired by Mike Shinoda, and I said no, I said no, something's not. Robert! I said it really loud to get his attention, and Mike was like, "Oh God!" Yeah. I'm like, Robert! And he comes over. We get a picture with Mike Shinoda, and then of course the entire show floor swarms him. And I'm sorry about that, Mike, if you're watching. Maybe I don't know why you're watching this, but if you're watching, I'm sorry. I drew a bunch of attention to you. And the funny thing was Robert's reaction was like, "Oh," like he almost said the F word, and he's like, shh, "Man, my kid's here." Like he had his kid with him. He's like, "Oh." Anyways, that was amazing. I met Phil Spencer as well. That was at E3. And we got to ride the bike. Oh, it's just some incredible experience. And the fact that this was all at E3 with Final Fantasy was just a dream come true for me. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. That was my build up, because that's the last thing that really happened before Remake came out officially, besides the demo dropping, which I played every single day. I'm sure most of you guys did the same thing. Just played it every single day leading up to release. So you guys, anybody want to just chime in, sound off with any kind of memories leading up to remake. Like
I've actually got quite a good one.
yeah.
Although I'm not going to talk about Final Fantasy VII remake, I'm going to talk about Spyro the Dragon.
Oh man, awesome, nice.
Back in
Let's
February of 2020, I attended a Spyro the Dragon convention, which John Bentley happened to be at.
Are you Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't
deadly serious. That the demo had leaked for Spyro the Dragon shortly before the Spyro the Dragon remake was going to drop, and I happened to be in the room, having already had a shot of Spyro the Dragon. I happened to be in the room when John Bentley first played Spyro the Dragon.
Mo, I'm having a really hard time like believing this story. That's insane. Wait, what? First of all,
doesn't sound real.
You said Spyro the Dragon convention, and then you said that John Bentley was there. Did you meet John Bentley at the Spyro the Dragon conference?
Yeah, I showed him around.
Too many smiles
Glasgow.
going on right now. Am I getting bamboozled right now? Is this a joke?
It sounds pretty serious to me.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic.
I couldn't.
It's too specific to be a lie. That's way too specific.
There's no way. There's no way that I could have possibly played a remake for another title before it was officially released. But I did play Spyro the Dragon.
Okay.
Okay.
You're definitely confusing me now.
My favorite part of remake was Spyro.
I see. So you might have been the first. So I'm the third wave they got to play Spyro the Dragon. So we go to. I've caught up. So
Spyro the Dragon has a lot of Norse lore ties. Okay.
Spyro the Dragon does.
Yeah.
It does. I've heard that Spyro is a berserker.
I am what? What is happening here? Stop. What is this?
Son. Once you get to the end of Spyro the Dragon 1 remake, the whispers disappear.
Did I play the wrong game? We're talking about the same game, right? Cloud.
Yeah, Spyro.
No, this is our Spyro podcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spyro, the son of Muhammad, right?
Yeah. I said it in the chat. Rimavel, so imagine JB voicing Spyro. He's just like, I'm going after Nasty Nork. Or something like that.
That's pretty good. That's not a joke. That was actually it was pretty accurate.
So okay, I mean, I think there may be others that know that there was a pretty substantial data leak when the demo hit.
Like people data mined it.
Yeah, people data mined it about a year before, and I was all over that for some reason. I don't know why I wanted the spoiler, but I had this fear going in that they were going to do something that would fundamentally ruin the game, and so with a good portion of the fan community is known about the bizarre dump truck of lore stuff that was happening up to like 9 months or a year. I think Blitz or Mo knows, and I was one of those people, and I remember being in total disbelief until the actual demo at because I played it at E3, and then when the demo dropped again, I remember like all of the details that were in there that matched the data leak that came from essentially the E3 demo. And when so it was really the lead up of like, okay, as soon as I was playing the demo the second time, once it had been downloaded onto my console, I knew that we were in for a really wild reception. Like I knew that this was going to be a
non-controversial, smooth sailing,
a thing that people were
everyone was going to like it.
Talk about for
universally, unanimously
years to come. And it wasn't until that moment that I really started to get excited for the bizarre social experiment of this game. and what it was going to do to the fandom. And I had my expectations set a certain way for how fans were going to react. And in every conceivable way, those reactions were shattered. Like every spectrum of reaction that I predicted, I've seen versions of it that put it to shame. It was like, I was thinking it was going to be, at the like a Jack the Ripper level, and it ended up being at like John Wayne Gacy level. Like it was crazy how people responded to it. So that's one of the bizarre social experiment of how things were going to change was one of my favorite things leading up, and watching people kind of their expectations get subverted and stuff like that. I'll never forget the experience of seeing that happen to people.
Yeah.
I think Blitz is with me on that.
Yeah, that's the as far as like the combat and stuff goes, like I've always, even before I saw really or like sat down and watched the entire footage, I watched Maximilian do it a lot over the years.
Mhm.
He's a staple in my YouTube like homepage. I've been watching this dude forever. So it's like, over the years, learning that he's also a big Final Fantasy VII fan like myself, it was just like, holy shit, I got to watch everything this guy says now. And hearing him explain how the gameplay demo went and like all how certain things in the story were going down, I was like, I don't believe this fucking guy, yo. He's trolling, he's trolling the shit out of this. Is so fucking this sounds way too cool. Like this sounds insane. Like hearing like Barrett and Cloud are like talking shit to each other the whole time as they're fighting the Scorpion, and they're just like cracking jokes at each other, and just listening to that and wanting to experience it for yourself was just crazy. And then I finally got to play this shit, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
All of it was right.
He was not lying.
Just as crazy as he said.
So chapter 2 is true.
Yep.
Somebody in the chat said Max showing off chapter 2 to the chat. See, I wasn't crazy. I told you this shit existed.
Yeah,
It was a great moment. Yeah.
I watched that too. I feel like that was something where he was like, I don't want to like go into or like too many details and stuff like that, right? He was trying to be cautious about it, but
yeah,
he was checking the paper on his desk. He was like, "Can I talk about this?"
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I can talk about this. Okay.
I see the actual the video you're talking about. I happened to be flying to KupaCon in New Jersey the weekend
for the Spyro, the Dragon convention.
No, this one was definitely a Final Fantasy convention. This one,
Okay.
not the later Spyro the Dragon one. But I was flying to New Jersey and downloaded the audio for this, and I happened to be on the flight by myself. And I wish to God, like I was actually flying to a Final Fantasy convention, and wish to God there had been other fans on the plane, because listening to Max Dude explain what goes on in chapter 2 was like. So yeah, the first thing that I did when I got off the plane in New Jersey was just find as many Final Fantasy fans as I could just to tell them about this. It was incredible. Yeah. When it all plays out, and when you do see it on his stream, it is so cool. He's so animated about it.
Yeah, he's really good.
I appreciate his hype, his energy.
That's the odd connection that I think I share with actually Blitz mentioned this in the last time that we've talked together, but it was just such a breath of fresh air to know that like we all sort of had, a lot of us have this connection to Max and in terms of like digesting his content. And I also was the lead, like we were talking about things that led up to the eventual announcement of a remake. But I was following a lot of his coverage, and I didn't want to get too far into it because there was a part of me that also didn't want to spoil myself in that. But there's just so like that.
Oh, it's just so good though.
Yeah, it's
like,
so fucking good. It's
like,
all amazing. And just hearing people's accounts of like the demo and like how faithful it seemed to like everyone's like expectations, how things get a little crazy. And it was just this, I don't know. It was like Clark said, it was like we're all in for some sort of like crazy ride that no one was really expecting, and which I think did its service. Like the intrigue of what remake was going to be, I think was very important to what it is now. So, and what this community is now too is that a lot of us started with because of the mystery surrounding remake. So there's a lot there that I definitely appreciated then, and I very much appreciate now. So
that's absolutely why I love like the fact that things are a little bit different. You know, like there's a lot of people that obviously, like even myself to a certain degree, I wanted like a 1-for-1 in a sense, but after seeing the potential of what could actually happen from all this, look, it brought us all together to talk about shit that we have no idea of what's going to happen. None of us know exactly what's going to happen. And that's what I think is the greatest direction that they're going about with this, is because I get to basically re-experience my childhood, my most favorite game of all time again for the very first time.
Yeah,
all over again.
They definitely nailed this aspect that we got to experience the whole thing again, despite knowing everything.
Yeah.
So we thought we knew everything. It was just amped up and beautiful graphics and stuff, but no, they went so much overboard, and it's still faithful, pretty much faithful, I'd say.
I think one of the beautiful things for us content creators as well is that, and I'm sure you all experienced this, particularly those of you who are interested in the compilation, that when you spent hour upon hour looking through and finding all these hidden little Easter eggs, you felt as if the game had been made personally for you and everything that you wanted. And that's a phenomenal achievement. Obviously not you, Daniel, who lost your shit at the end, but but yeah, you know, like,
I'm not gonna play that reaction.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna share that reaction today.
Like I was pretty optimistic about it, and you know, I think my level of optimism at the time, I thought it was 10 out of 10, but in hindsight it was maybe 3 or 4 out of 10, you know, in comparison to what was actually delivered. It was so much more than I could ever have dreamed of. It's just a phenomenon. It really is a phenomenon.
Despite the whispers. Because a few people, or a lot of people, just didn't like them at all, especially at the very end. But in the end, me personally, I was just confused at the point. But afterwards, I could understand some people who just didn't like this. Like 95% was perfect, the rest was crap, and now it's crap, and they don't really like it, and maybe don't even want to play the second part. But for me, it's completely the opposite. As the more I looked into it, the more I analyzed things, the more I tried to piece 1 and 2 and 3 together, the more I like and love this game.
Yeah, I completely agreed. And the fact that we, as like, you know, people who have been like just studying this since the game's announcement, the fact that we're still able to talk about this and still have something to say, not for the sake of views, just for the sake of there's just
speak for yourself, sir.
Yeah, we're all sellouts, actually. I'm sorry. That's
how dare you.
What this corner is.
My latest video is pretty clickbaity too, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They have us, all of us. There's only so much combat I can talk about.
So. Yeah, dude, we gotta figure it out, dude.
I do think I think more so than any piece of media, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake is in like the most unique position. Again, because like it's that exact thing that everyone else has already brought up about how, okay, I get to re-experience this thing. Even if things play out exactly the same, they still planted that seed in your head. You're like, but will it though? And it's like, and you're like, oh fuck, I want to know. Like it's. I think it's brilliant because I personally can't think of any other piece of media that has done it as successfly as remake seems to have. Even for better or for worse, it has people thinking about it and talking about it.
Yeah,
I think is why so many of us can actually be at peace with the whispers, that no matter how you felt about it in the beginning, like we all understand that it's a vehicle for getting to the position at the end of the game where uncertainty has been created. And exactly as Blitz said, like we now don't know what's going to happen again. So we get to relive it in a way that none of us expected we would. So you can make your peace with the fact that we had to go through the whispers to get there.
Yeah,
I definitely
had to break Destiny first.
I had to break Destiny to get there. Yeah, that's.
I think the fact that, and it's already been echoed several times, but like there is a unique position that Remake does have in the fact that like the compilation is such a relevant discussion to it, and it's just a form of media. It's like comic books were to like the Avengers, sort of like the mystery behind like what decisions they were going to make for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because not everybody was familiar with every single thing that had come out. And so there was this fan sort of igniting of film students like myself who were just simply wanting to dig. And the compilation felt very much the same way, where it almost felt very untapped and very unexplored, especially for what people, even for old Final Fantasy VII fans, because not everybody enjoyed those games.
Yeah, shout outs to the people who told me to skip Dirge. They're like, it won't be relevant. I'm like, okay.
Definitely not relevant, obviously not. Especially with the recent announcements. Nah, dude.
I think what you should do though is
Crisis, you'll be all right.
Go down the baby seal route and actually make it even more confusing by playing it in Japanese.
That's right. That's right.
It's probably the same level of confusing to me, in my opinion.
It's such
same level of confusion.
A little bit, yeah.
Like when Mo said,
may as well been in a different language.
No other game has been able to invoke that kind of like this kind of discussion. I feel like you can't. Besides maybe if we're gonna Kingdom Hearts,
Spyro.
Spyro. I mean,
Kingdom
they
Hearts,
had a
definitely.
full-on convention for Spyro, and that was just
right.
But
I would say sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'd argue the difference with Kingdom Hearts being, and I think where a lot of the turmoil comes in that side of the community is because Kingdom Hearts, it's not like a trilogy. It's every single game is technically a sequel to the last.
Yeah.
And it's a constantly evolving, like it keeps changing and they keep adding stuff like constantly. Whereas remake, it's something that it wasn't something people were expecting to be a continuous thing.
Yeah, it's like for Kingdom Hearts though, it's hard to make that analogy as much. I just feel like I brought it up because of the conversation aspect of it, like because it brings a community together to be like, okay, what's going to happen next? There's pieces to put together. There's there's source material to pull from. But Kingdom Hearts is an ongoing franchise, so there's nothing is written yet. And I think what makes remake different is because this has been written. You're rewriting it.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was. Yeah, you put that way more better. You articulated that much better than I did.
So, like, if you're pulling from a different media, I think Sleep Easy brought it up a little bit about the MCU, and I think that's kind of where we can kind of make peace. If you're like me, a little bit upset with some of the direction they took, you can pull from MCU and just be like, okay, what they're doing here is kind of like WandaVision or something like that, right? WandaVision is writing its own story, but there's source material to pull from to say they could go this direction with it. I mean, like you're pulling from the compilation, you're making these theories and stuff up. And I agree so much with what you're saying about bringing the community together, because and I guess I was going to get to this after I talk about like actually getting remake in your hands, but I feel like we've kind of discussed that a little bit too. But after remake, the experiences you guys have had, how remake has changed your life after that, because I feel like it has changed a lot of our lives. We kind of touched on it a little bit too. But bringing the community together, I'm sitting here with some amazing people, not just content creator, but I met friends, right? I met great friends through Final Fantasy VII Remake, and being able to get together like this and have conversations, celebrate. And we were talking about future stuff. Like when we get part 2 information, I don't have to like sit here and call my friends like, hey guys, it's about to happen. They're like, yeah, cool. I'm so happy for you, man. I can be like, like I can just like, okay, guys, reconvene. Can we reconvene real quick?
Yeah.
Let's talk. I got lots to talk about.
Emergency meeting.
Yeah, emergency meeting. So that's good. That's gonna be really exciting. Now I get to share that passion with you guys for Final Fantasy VII Remake. I swear to God, the first time I see a screenshot from Remake Part 2, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to need to vent, talk. I need to talk about it. I hope it's Junin. I don't know. I just feel like it might be. But
it's gonna have to be
Junin canon.
So like, how has I mean, obviously all of you guys have kind of established yourself as these good content creators, gaining popularity within the community, making friends and stuff like that. This is, for me personally, I can start. I started Final Fantasy TV back in October. Only a few months old here. You know, FFTV is in its infancy, but you know, I started this up as a way to kind of try and reach out, like put a hand out there and see if there's anybody in the community that felt the same way I did about Remake. And then, because it's not all bad thoughts, I just wanted to see if somebody was conflicted like me. You know, like, I just wanted to reach out there and see. And then I got response, and it felt great. I was like, okay, I want to go all in with this, and the Final Fantasy community, and you know, that's my favorite franchise and everything like that. But because of Final Fantasy VII Remake, you know, Vinny too, like we've been able to talk to John Bentley, Vic Chow, you know, Mallory Lowe, Danielle McRae, all of these people that were in my favorite like franchise of all time, and I've got to speak with them, voices of characters that have lived in my head, you know, for years. And I told Bentley this too, and I was like, JB, you know, because we're on that term, you know, we're friends like that.
You're tight like that.
So I told JB, I was like, man, I don't know if you know this, but since I was 7 years old, I've heard a voice in my head for Barrett, you know, that I gave him. But your voice has now retroactively replaced that, and now your voice has been in my head for 7 years.
Same exact thing, yeah.
Or since I was 7 for I don't even know. I'm old. But for so many years now, your voice is now the one that's been in my head, and I just like, it's like I feel like I know you now. You know, we can call each other JB, and cool.
I think you'll find it's GEB, so it's Jeb.
No,
Jeb.
Jeb.
That's how we do
it. But yeah, being able to meet and speak with all of these talented people and actors and actresses, and even yourselves for most of you guys multiple times, and Viz and Blitz for the first time. I didn't, you know, I would never have thought I would be sitting here talking to you guys. So that's amazing. I never thought that I'd be sitting here with a, you know, chat going off. This is awesome. Being a part of this community, it's trying to make your mark on it. It's just been a ride, and yeah, and I have a lot to thank for Final Fantasy VII Remake because of that. Also being able to speak with Night Sky Prince and Soldier First Class, because I watch their videos so much, and I respect the hell out of them. So I got to speak with them too. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy because of Final Fantasy VII Remake that led to all of this. So I'll go ahead with anybody who wants to just shout out. I guess let's start with Viz. Viz, how has after, like, post Remake, how has that changed your life?
So at first, since I recorded a Let's Play of it and I wasn't really used to it, but I wanted to record my reactions and stuff, it kind of burned me out a little bit, because at the same time I also posted a few things on Twitter, and then afterwards, all right, so now what? I started to analyze things and kind of fell in a slump, but then in the end I really managed to get out of it, and since then I've been creating those huge videos about Whispers, about Aerith, and now Cloud and Sephiroth are in the works with some integrate in between. And I'm really glad that I found someone who could record the script for me, because I'm just not made for recording scripts, especially when there is a huge, and I keep stumbling upon the words. I just go insane at some point. So I thought, no, I need to outsource this. And I also had to outsource the editing so that I could even create something within half a year.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, especially the analysis thing and writing the script, even that takes weeks sometimes. So a huge shout out to our community, the CCO, the Cosmo Canyon Observatory. Those guys are so great guys and gals and helpful in every single way, and so really really appreciative of all of those. And yeah, that's kind of was it. It fell back down, and then I just biked down up the hill, uphill. Yeah. And I reached top, and now I'm just overlooking a great
Overlord.
Vista. Yeah, Overlord.
Yeah, now you're the Overlord.
Oh yeah,
just
great
wearing
overlook.
a big cape.
Yeah.
So Blitz, I think we touched on a little bit earlier when you were sharing your thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Remake, but how after remake did, like, I think when I went back and I was trying to find a reaction from you, like you said, you were doing, Smash Bros content, a little bit of content here and there for like fighting games or combos and stuff like that. And then you released the video series, basically combat tips or something like that for Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then like from there on, it's like, this is my passion. This is the community that like community just swarmed in, and the Blitz name just kind of took off.
Hey, thanks, dude.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of yours too. Just as I said with Night Sky Prince and Soldier. I'm a big fan of yours too. So this is really awesome to have you here as well. But yeah, you kind of got that community with that first video, and then all of a sudden just that series happened, and then now, like, I feel like the name Blitz is kind of synonymous with Final Fantasy VII Remake from here on out. I feel like people are going to be going to Blitz. Yeah, I feel like people are going to be going to Blitz for remake information and for part 2 and stuff like that. So
back it up, boys. We're moving out. You gotta find yourselves another series, boys.
You go
It's done.
Theories. You want to go theories otherwise. So what's your feeling after remake, Blitz? I'm gonna step away real quick, but I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Yeah, sure. Man, it's like I said, like I wasn't expecting myself to go into this game and be able to make the content that I'm making right now. Because when I got the game, I got it a few days earlier, and my whole idea was, I was in a rough patch where YouTube was not doing great by me with Mortal Kombat content. I told Baby Still and Sleep Easy last time I spoke with them.
They do not like Mortal Kombat.
No,
at all.
I would take weeks sometimes to put together like a 30-minute guide on how to play this character, how to utilize them, this scenario to use them, and all that kind of good stuff, right? And the videos would do really well, and then I'll get demonetized, and then the video would just not make it out of the algorithm at all. It just get crunched.
YouTube is brutal.
Yeah, man. And
demonetization is killing everyone.
Yeah. So I started to feel a little down about that. I felt like shit. And then the whole COVID happened, and then my company closed down, and I'm like, okay, we gotta figure out something right now, because this does not seem like it's gonna be my year, and it turned itself around when I started making the combat stuff. I started to focus on that because I'm playing the game and I was recording myself doing let's plays, and the let's plays were cool and all, and I was getting okay views on them. But when I got to the chapter, I think it was chapter 5 or 4, I think it might have been 5, when Tifa, Barrett, and Cloud finally you have 3-team combat finally, and then they're in the they're trying to go through the slums, right? I stopped the game and I'm like, I need to fucking make a video right now, because I'm just seeing how Tifa plays and how you can coordinate that shit with Cloud and use the L and R2 buttons for the shortcuts and stuff. I was like, okay. I see the plan. I see the ideas right here. Nobody else is doing this right now. I need to do it right now. There was one other guy, Craze Gaming. He was doing it. And he made he wasn't really focused on Final Fantasy. He was doing Final Fantasy, Borderlands, and he was just jumping around and doing a lot of other stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna go dive in directly into Final Fantasy and just cover all this stuff that I fucking can. And it really I took some time, and all my beginning combat guides were in the same area of right where I left off in that game. It was the area where they're above the slums and they're trying to get up to top side, and you're fighting all the weird spiders and disgusting monsters in chapter 5, I think it is, or 6.
I think so. This is 4 or 5.
And
5 is in the tunnels.
I did the Cloud guide, I did the Barrett guide in the same day, and then I did Tifa. It took me a whole day to do Tifa because I had so much to talk about with her because of the way her mechanics worked about her, and how she can basically buff herself and go into different levels, and she gets access to more moves, and the moves do different things, and just explaining all that to people, and explaining to what pressure does. How do you stagger somebody? You can actually use time material to stop somebody while they're staggered, and then just their stagger lasts 10 more seconds, stuff like that. And the videos did extremely well. I released them, I did Cloud, Barrett, and then Tifa, and then they all just took off at the same time. I woke up to 1,000+ comments, and I'm like, what is going on right now? Holy shit.
That's awesome.
Ran into the room, did Aerith.
I gotta get to work.
Dropped Aerith a couple days later, and just focused on combat. And it was just an amazing approach, and I just thought that's what it was going to be. And then my girlfriend just told me, she's like, have you tried streaming? And I'm like, I never really thought I'd be good at streaming. You know, I wasn't interested in it. You know, and I thought it was the idea of it was daunting. I was scared to do it. I actually was like terrified of doing it and like stumbling over my words or not showcasing how good I am normally, because like editing, when you edit stuff and you do like guides and whatever, you look amazing, you look good because you make it look good. But it's not always gonna work out, like especially with Final Fantasy, it's like a RNG kind of game. Sometimes things work out differently. But we had a lot of fun with the chat. I didn't expect, like, I think my first stream I had like 200 people show up and I'm like, holy shit, like you guys actually like really like this stuff, and then people started like hyping it up, and they're like, they want another stream, and then YouTube pulled some bullshit on me, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be they're like, you're gonna be the gaming creator on the rise. In 24 hours, you're gonna be the gaming creator on the rise on the trending tab." And I'm like, I thought this was spam. Swipe. Went to my cousin's house, and then next morning was Sunday. I woke up to 3,000 comments and shit. I'm just like, what is going on now? Like, I look at the bar on real time. Thing is like way up here. Like I'd never seen anything like it before, and they put us on the trending page with the Barrett Infinite Health build, and I was blown away by that. I was blown away by that, man. And it's just, this game has brought something new to my life that I could never imagine, and it's something that I have been chasing for a while. I just didn't expect it to come last year in the way that it did.
That's sort of the beauty of it too, is that sort of like, I don't know, you've told me that story before. And it resonated with me that all of this sort of unfolds itself sort of in whichever way that takes, regardless of like how you plan it or anything like that. So that resonates with me just in general with the idea of the community, the way that it is that a lot of what has been really special about this is what the community has done for all of our channels. But like, just speaking from personal experience, it was really great to like have, like, I wouldn't have met any of you guys if it wasn't for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
It's true. We all live in like different parts of the world.
It's that
content. I live in Blitz's hot tub, so
Tatsumaki in his hot tub.
They were hanging out.
Sleepy's in the Schrodinger's baby, so he'll actually live in the back of a Krispy Kreme, apparently.
But it's just afforded, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like I'm like, Remake has done a lot for me, and I've tried to give a lot of that back in some shape or form in terms of like the work that I try and make. And
bro,
regardless of
the people love you, bro. Like I've been hearing about your videos for months, and like, I had watched the earlier ones, and I was like, this dude is crazy. Holy shit. Like, these videos are deep.
Yeah, the first one broke my brain.
Purple,
bro. I don't know, man.
I appreciate that, but it's more about like how we've all sort of arrived at this place where we're able to actually, I'm able to meet you guys, talk to you guys, and even like with like the audience that's like watching right now, even though I know that like a lot of you guys are from different communities, like some of you are from Cosmo Canyon Observatory, some of you know Mo's books, some of you know the video and content that Blitz creates in terms of combat, and also his recent videos, Tatsumaki going through that journey, and then Final Fan TV also, and Schrodinger both actively trying to like collectively like form like a better bridge for all of us to sort of network and be a part of like, talking about stuff with you guys. It's all the same, and you guys watch all of our stuff. Like, I know so many of you in chat that are like, you got to talk to Ray, or like, I'm a fan of Cosmo Canyon and you need to like do stuff with him. Like, you guys are just so actively, and also like in the weirdest way, like full circle moments, like Mo has been contributing to Final Fantasy VII for so long in terms of just the amount of attention and detail to lore that he's brought to this, not only with just like his books and stuff like that, but just like all of what he's done for Dirge of Cerberus. Like I've never thought that I would have the opportunity to speak with anybody like on that in such a, I guess I hate to use the word intellectual and pair it with Dirge of Cerberus, but like very intellectual and very deep conversations about like those things. And it's largely because of Mo's efforts that I was even able to like discuss any of that stuff, because of like all of this work. And this kind of came to a head for me, at least, when Ever Crisis came out, where it kind of gave me, where I think that Ever Crisis is sort of the answer to a lot of like the accessibility of this information for a newer audience. But it made me really reflect on like all of the time and effort that like the community in a much larger sense, even outside of this, like the live stream is a really notable one. Grimoire Valentine, who has like a series of English translations of games that no longer are playable. It's like you guys have made this like possible for me in such a weird way. And it was just so like, it's so great to be able to sit down and like actually enjoy this. And I guess this is what Final Fantasy TV said, is that just able to enjoy this with you guys, the journey and the rest of this. So I really want to like just stress that a lot of what's happening here and the fact that we're all sitting down together is because of you guys. You guys have allowed us to do this to any degree. I never thought that like a Skittle, of course, it's
Skittle again.
Skittle
Oh my God.
That's how she is. That's just how she be. She just pulls triggers, dude. Just popping off for Skittle.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Skittle.
I just to kind of circle back to the question asked here is that like, what is Remake done? Is that I released my first video almost a year ago. It's almost been a year anniversary since my channel has been created. And I didn't expect a single fucking person to watch it. I was so okay with that, because the only thing I really wanted to do was make a video to explain what I felt. And I think the reception of that feeling was echoed largely in the response to the first video, is that people, I think, connected more with just wanting to be a part of the community. And so like from like, I don't like, regardless of how like, you know, your theories are, how do you pronounce that? Somebody
Silocin.
Silocin. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Wow. Nice.
Thank you guys once again. I want to say this real quick. Everybody gifting subs, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. As we've been saying, I mean, this kind of, you know, this is what we want to do. This is our passion. So you supporting us like that it really does mean a lot. I would also ask that you please go show the same love to the guys here right now, because I have them to thank for you know, joining us right now and talking and celebrating Final Fantasy VII Remake. And man, sleep easy. Thank you. That was beautifully said.
That being said, I would like to point out and take the moment to completely derail this conversation and go after Mo, who is sleepless and like probably going through way too many emotions right now to handle this sort of attack. But
just before you start, I would like to remind you that your entire series is based on an article I wrote 10 years ago. So be very careful with your words.
Okay. Let me
use your words wisely.
I would like to say that it's sort of coming full circle, and most of this just prior to me opening my mouth, this is sort of like mostly a joke. But there has been a long going sort of conversation that me and Schrodinger have been having since the beginning of our relationship, talking about a before crisis event, and how because of this one event, Sector 6, for those who don't know, is largely attributed to being destroyed from Zirconiad before Remake. I'm so sorry that all of you are having to deal with this, but I need to get this out. It's very personal to me.
It's important.
Eating away at him.
Is that this particular piece of
Sorry,
lore?
I have to go to bed.
This piece of lore has been used is used in wiki articles and all this other stuff. And the thing is that I went looking for the actual source of information to describe this before crisis event in an Ultimania or whatever have you, you know. And I go on to Livestream Forum and I see a name that I'm familiar with. A man who creates novelizations for Final Fantasy is the undertag of this. And he says, that was just based on a theory that I made. several years ago on a different forum, and to my surprise, it was Mo. So for anybody under the impression that was something that happened, it isn't.
It
but
isn't.
It isn't. It didn't happen. But the thing is, no, he doesn't. He knows how this is going to end up. But it's just, I want to say this because this is also how I met Mo, is through the articles that he read or he wrote for Dirge of Cerberus. And again, going back saying that I was only able to cover Dirge of Cerberus in my videos because of him. But I just thought it was a very funny other sort of, I guess, come full circle moment when I saw that name, because it just reminded me like of all of the work that you've done. And then there's just this one piece of information that all of us regard as truth. And you could have done that with everything.
I've had so much influence on the compilation that I don't even know what I've said.
I know. It was such a funny thing to see.
Jesus! Oh my God!
Silo, send
10 tier gift subs.
I feel like we the warrior of hype right now. Warrior
got a hype train going.
Got the hype train going.
Jesus. That's a sexy name.
Wow, that's right. I came up with for myself, but then I was like, you know what, chat, you deserve this right now. Warriors of hype. Warriors of hype right now. Thank you so much, Silas, and that was fantastic. Hype.
Man, this last couple of months have been insane. Like I'm not a big Twitter user. I only recently started using it 3 months ago to try to get more, I guess, deeper into like being around the Final Fantasy community, because I've only been just using YouTube, and I've had Twitter and Instagram for years, and I just never actively used them. But it's crazy how like over time, and technology is insane like this, it's been kind of like pushing us to meet all of us, because I got an article about Mo like months ago from Google, and I was like, author of Final Fantasy VII. What? Click on this right now. Let me read this. And I'm like, it sounds pretty cool. And like 3 weeks later, this dude follows me on Twitter. I'm like, all right, what's going on? How is this happening right now?
That's something that Mo said. So like,
Mo is feeding us all the info to like
he could have written anything. He could have written anything, and it would have been the fact that it was truth for so long for me is just like, that's how much influence this one man has. He's
I'm actually like the Aerith of the Final Fantasy remake community.
There is no Nomura. It's been Mo the whole time.
That's how it is.
Informing the live stream. Yeah.
I'm going to just rip off my face and Nojima's sitting here.
I would believe it. 100%.
You know what? It's one of those really, really ridiculous things, because the reason that the Sector 6 thing came up is because when I was writing my novelization, I thought, do you know what would be really cool? There's no real explanation in the original game or Ultimania as to what happened to Sector 6. And there's a very, very brief scene at the end of episode 22 in Before Crisis where you see the plate shaking. So I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to throw in this bit of fan fiction that's what caused all the damage in Sector 6. And then posted that on what used to be Advent Children forums.
Yeah.
And that carried on. And, for whatever reason, someone has picked that up and said, okay, this is actually canon. And it was never canon. And it's not until Sleep Easy brought it to my attention again that I have realized that, oh my God, people actually still think that.
I think in multiple occasions in my video, and I think even Viz and I were discussing this before, but we've had conversations multiple times with different fans having to either figure out that this is just not canon or dispute the fact that no, this is like I heard this. But there's so many things like that in the lore where it's like somebody will be like, well, I heard like the term negative live stream is one of those things where it's like, who the fuck like is tossing around this term negative live stream? And then it's like something that Nomura said, like, you gotta go
into commentary.
In a commentary track for Advent Children, he mentions it. He's like, oh, that's a thing now. And I'm like, whatever, dude, anything is possible. But I just thought it was such a funny inception of that idea. I mean, throw more wrenches in there if you want.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the thing that I'm quite lucky with the Dirge of Cerberus online stuff, that I actually have a huge amount of information that can prove that I wasn't talking bullshit.
I can back it up, baby.
I can back it up.
You literally wrote the book on it, so I don't really have anything to say to you. Honestly, I was telling this to Viz, but it's so intimidating when I was like, I think you're wrong about like something in Dirge Cerberus lore, and we started having an exchange of like just trying to like you were essentially just trying to help me figure out that I was just completely wrong. But I was just like, I'm gonna put on the gloves and like go up against like literally the guy who wrote the book on this subject and see if I'm right. And I just ended up being so wrong.
You gotta love how he lets you finish your entire pitch, and then he's like, cool, you're wrong, but let me tell you why.
This is why you're wrong.
That's how it went down. That's exactly how it went down.
I'm glad you went on for that.
You put on the gloves, I'll put on the kilt. Let's see what happens.
That's right. And it ended poorly for me, even with the gloves on.
Thank you, Anonymous Warrior of Hype. We have reached the level 5 hype train. Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Anonymous Warrior of Hype. So that's what's beautiful about this. A lot of people in chat right now saying just this community, the people up here right now are legends. Thank you so much for that. That's insane. But this community is awesome, and I'm just seeing that all across chat, and I'm glad that I've been able to get everybody together today to celebrate Final Fantasy VII Remake, because now we're going to go on into kind of a
wrestling.
Yes.
Wrestling. Chat. Any artists out there? We got Jesse Barrett and we got the oiling. All right. So
we're gonna go into favorites, our favorite moments, our favorite things about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So to go into this, I'm gonna start with your favorite. Let's see. We've already gotten that. Your favorite PlayStation trophy. All right. So I'll start with the favorite PlayStation trophy, and if everybody wants to answer, awesome. If you just kind of like want to like say, hey, I got, I can answer that or something like that. But because I don't know if you guys can remember every single PlayStation trophy, but the one that I remember,
Google's trophies. I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking them up right now.
I got how many?
Go look them up. My favorite trophy was the Ultimate Weapon. That was the one where when you beat the Pride and Joy. That was amazing.
The top secrets,
yeah. Leading up to that fight, when a summoned a summon, I was like, okay, all right,
that was awesome.
Something's unfair right now. Is that summon just to summon a summon? Oh god.
Okay, no, I know mine. I definitely know mine. I found it.
But that was awesome, fighting all the summons, and then the Pride and Joy. So that was my favorite one, the Ultimate Weapon PlayStation trophy. What about you guys?
Mine's weird one, the dart one. It's a Heavenly Dart Player.
Nice.
I spent way too long on I just like full stop in the middle of the stream. I'm like, okay, so we're playing darts for the next hour.
We're gonna figure this out.
I knew
get
that
like
get
the highest possible score. And I was like, yeah, and that was the best part, to be honest.
We're gonna play this until
that was the one that I remembered. Like all the other ones, I'm like, I kind of just got as I played. I'm like, oh, neat. Or like the squat one. It's like, oh, that was neat.
God.
I have
the darts one stood out to me.
I would say Purist of Pull-Ups was the one that when I got, I was like, oh, I'm glad I got it.
It was fun.
But Master
why does everyone have so much troubles with the pull-ups?
I didn't have.
I got it on my first try, and I didn't even try it again. I was like, fuck, I'm never doing that again.
Listen, Viz, not everyone can be a pro fucking gamer like us, Viz. Okay,
you're right.
Yeah, I was
don't have it in
that. I was like, I guess my Guitar Hero background must have, or my Dance Dance Revolution background that kicked in or something.
You play
like that.
Guitar Hero as well?
Yeah, I played Guitar Hero and Dance Dance Revolution back in the day. Nice. I don't do it anymore.
I have my guitar, some Guitar Hero videos still on my channel.
No shit, no way.
Yeah.
How does the combat work on that, Blitz?
It's actually just, you gotta know the inputs. You gotta feel the beat. You gotta do the rhythm, and you gotta bop your head to
definitely.
It,
like memorizing combos, same thing pretty much.
Speaking of Guitar Hero and combat, I watched a YouTube video of a guy beating a Dark Souls boss using a Guitar Hero controller.
Oh yeah,
that's how you do it, dude.
I want to see that with a Dance Dance Revolution pad.
You guys didn't Guitar Hero controller?
That was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Doesn't it come boxed with the Guitar Hero controller?
Oh, I just got something. I didn't realize this.
Donkey Kong
enemy is in the game.
Yes.
I just got an enemy spoiled for me that I didn't know was in the game. Oops.
In remake?
Yeah, the Malboro. I didn't know that was in there.
That was gonna be my trophy.
Battles. Yeah.
I'm probably
That's that one. I want to fight him now. I gotta go find him. Fuck.
Yeah, you gotta go figure it out how to get him.
Please.
I got a guide on him if you need help.
Yeah, quick plug.
Networking, baby.
I'm just gonna like be in the middle of the fight. I'm gonna be like, man, I sure wish I knew how to beat
Bro,
this boss.
I had to
Pull it up.
Google one of my own guides last night. I was like, wait, what? Like on stream.
How do I do this shit?
I was like on stream. I was like, why did he do that just now? What happened? And I went back and looked at my guide. I'm like, oh, I specifically said here to not deal a lot of damage because if you do this to Hell House,
That's
we'll go into
actually
God mode.
fucking hilarious. That's so fucking.
It was a moment on stream, and I was like, yeah, sorry, guys. It's like
Sorry, I
6
just
had to Google myself.
Yeah, I just had to Google myself. Yeah. Be patient.
So that was a
while I look
good
at my
one.
perfect smile.
Their trophy for when
Hey,
Kate Sith shows up for 1 second should have been.
Hey, it's that cat.
Should have been like, there he is. That's it.
It should have been
That's
never
the trophy.
apologize for cats.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Mo, you should really put your hat in the ring for voicing him. You know.
You know what? See,
You ever
after
thought
all this
about it?
exposure, why not?
Yeah,
You
dude.
ever thought about it, man?
I,
Come
uh,
Got some
on.
clout, dude.
it
Fucking
turns out-
use it.
I got a message about half an hour ago to say that my book had actually just sold out a third time. So fuck it, why not?
Yes,
do
sir.
it, bro.
Putting a lottery ticket on as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, congrats, man. That should be
Congratulations, man.
that's your
Fucking
favorite trophy.
Really, really
Congrats,
grumpy,
baby.
Kate Sith.
I'd actually, you know what? I'd prefer it over the one that we got in Crisis Core. Not Crisis Core, and
Advent Children.
Dirge or
I
whatever.
would
I'd
really love
prefer
it if it was just like a proper Glaswegian Kate Sith. It's just like it's got a whiskey in one hand and a cigarette in the
Yeah,
other.
I was literally thinking cigarette. Like,
Be like,
what do you
off.
want?
Like, just let him
Like,
say
just
fuck.
a
dude.
giant
Fuck
cigar.
do you guys want? Like, just put a coin in my slot and bugger off.
Oh,
I'll make it worth your
Oh.
Moogle medals.
If they ever release it on
I
PC, you
want
at least
this.
we have to mod you over
Yeah,
Here's,
let's
here's my
mod you.
here,
at least.
here's
MJ
my here's my prophecy. One of your friends will die.
Stuck on that.
I got to
Thanks,
join
Kate
your
Sith.
party to see this through, guys.
Oh my god. All right,
You
so-
may or may not be responsible.
My
baby
favorite
Sith said the pull-ups.
my favorite trophy is probably the enemy skill one.
Master of
enemies-
Mimicry?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was
Collecting them.
I was so jazzed about seeing E-Skill in the game again.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I guess they're not doing it. And then I got it and I'm fucking, I popped off. I was like,
I have
yo.
a question for Blitz about trophies, real quick. Blitz, what percentage was Master of Fate for you when you got it?
When I got it,
Where's
Yeah.
Master of Fate? Which one's Master of Fate?
That's the platinum.
that's the
That's
platinum,
platinum.
right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't think.
I'm looking.
You did
I
platinum.
mean, I totally don't have it
Mm.
up in front of me right now. I don't have it looked up or anything.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you-
what it would have been at the time, to be honest.
19 right now.
Because
You know
I'll
what?
never forget it was 1.9 for me.
Holy shit.
I got it on stream because I held off on playing hard mode for like a long time. Like I had all these guides and shit. People come to stream and like, bro, how do you not finish the game? I beat the game because of you. How are you still playing it? And like-
Doesn't
I'm
make
like-
sense.
I'm like, hey, see the hours on the bottom left? I did this for y'all, all right?
I got distracted playing the game. Sorry I didn't chase dresses, you dicks.
I did the dresses and just beat the rest of the game in hard mode in one stream and got it. But I don't remember what percentage it was. But I like the enemy skill one because that's legit. I think enemy skill is like my favorite materia. Like
It's so cool,
I love
dude.
blue mages. They're so sick. But in remake, I have a lot of guides that like show you how you can like break the game essentially with like self-destruct and HP absorb and
Self-destruct, yeah.
getting an instant limit break off of it and surviving the death. Like you don't die from it. I used it a couple times last night, which was fun. And infinite health build for like Barrett. Like enemy skill is so versatile. I can't wait to see what they do with it in part 2 because for a fact we're getting some amazing enemy skills.
Ooh, Beta's
Light
gonna
wind.
be game breaking.
Big guard.
Yeah.
That, ooh.
Yep.
Beta.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a cool one. How about you, Mo? What was your favorite trophy?
I'm going to hold my hands up and say that I have no idea what the trophies are for.
Fair.
It's not.
I had to look it up. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that you get a trophy straight away, just for being in the game. So I'm going to go ahead and say that my
That's
favorite
it.
trophy.
That's it,
favorite
yeah.
trophy
There it
is
is.
being
The
able
level
to
up
play
one.
Final Fantasy
The first
VII.
enemy defeated, I think it
Yeah.
was. Like,
Yeah, the
I think
first
it's-
enemy defeated levels you up. And
There's
you get a trophy.
warming up, win a battle, and only
There-
97% of people have that.
Winning the
Only
battle.
97.
Only,
Take
there's
that.
3% of people that have bought
Some
this
people
game.
booted it up, they sat through the intro, they got to a single enemy, and they're like, I can't take this.
Is
All
it
of it.
really
I had enough.
97%?
I've had it up to here.
The pressure was too real. They had a heart attack and they didn't make it all the way through, unfortunately.
Those
Oh no.
that's
3%
that's the
of people that
percentage.
play this game die before
Yeah.
it starts.
Just
3% are the people that were like, I thought this was going to be isometric top down.
I think
I'm
the
done.
last trophy for this series should just say you made it. Like
You made it.
You are like some of the original fan base that somehow made it through to see this. to the end.
Congrats on making
did
it.
it.
To
Just
the
be an
end of
achievement that
Spyro
pops
the
up.
Dragon.
Just like,
And
how about
it's
that
just-
shit, huh? That shit was
It's
great.
just like
Welcome to
some
the live
applesauce.
stream.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to the live stream. I wanted some applesauce. That's all.
What about
My
you, Sleepies?
achievement.
You got one?
I'm on with Mo in this one. Like and without hopefully hurting anybody's feelings or any sort of offense taken, I could care less about trophies.
Yeah.
Me too. To be honest.
I'm just here for the lore, and I'm just digesting it through that. I only look at this stuff for the sake of like the trophies for lore purposes.
Yeah.
So
That's fair. That's
my
fair.
Did you
favorite
get the-
name is the Intel.
Did you get the darts one?
I've gotten like
I
a
don't-
fair amount of them.
You kind of hesitated, man. I don't know.
I don't know if you got the darts one. Yeah, a fair amount of them. A fair amount.
You
I
left
was gonna
Wedge at the
say-
top spot? You left Wedge with that top spot? Come on, man.
Bro, Wedge beat you? Come on, man. That's
Yeah,
fucked up.
you know how it is. I'm not that good, but intelligence agent is my favorite named one, just because I thought that was the most insightful one that I could get out of for lore purposes.
Has the most lore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. There
Which
you go.
you don't spoil it for Tatsu, but that one.
Oh, that
one's for you.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm excited to do that one.
Anybody else want to chime in with that one before we move on to the next question?
Yeah, maybe a little bit of my trophy experiences. Usually, I don't really go for trophies unless they're fun, and most of them were fun,
Yeah.
and it made me play through hard mode.
Which is the best mode.
Yeah, the best mode. Even though Hell House can go to hell.
I'm still dreading. I'm not dreading, but like I'm excited to start hard mode.
Oh,
I had to
yeah,
take a small break after
Yeah,
ejecting myself with FF7 for like a month straight.
Hard mode, best mode for sure, man.
Yeah.
When you start hard mode, it just adds this just whole nother level of strategy to it, and it's really the way I like the.
I have to look up some of those youtube.com/blitz guys
Yeah.
right now, guys.
I don't know what that guy
They're so
didn't
good,
finish
I
the
even
game,
use
so-
them myself.
So good I use
Exactly.
myself.
Today's
I've,
stream is sponsored by me because I don't know how to do this shit. Let's learn together.
Yeah, that's how you do it, baby.
Hey, pro tip: if you want to start hard mode, go to chapter 17, beat the top secret, get Götterdämmerung, and then start hard mode. Then you're the boss, mostly.
Listen to that pronunciation. You know how many times I got butchered for saying that pronunciation?
say
That's
it.
so good. That was
Götterdämmerung.
really-
It's
Well,
I'm
It's
Swiss.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty close to German, so I
Yeah.
know how to pronounce German.
Oh man, I just started
That's
calling
my
it. I
secret.
just started calling it Ragnarok, and people are like, "I get it." Like, you know,
Yeah.
you're tired of people laughing at you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And just something about a trophy that I thought I'd like, but I didn't. It was the enemy skill one. Why? Because Marlborough just screwed me over. I had to beat him like 4 or 5 times until the enemy skill finally hit. I let him bad breath me all the time. Barrett, Cloud. I tried different characters. I just didn't get the enemy skill. And then maybe a few months later, I thought, well, just try again. Bang! I got it. But for some reason, it just glitched out
just
the
wouldn't
first
pop.
few times.
It
No,
wouldn't pop.
not the
Huh.
trophy. I didn't get the enemy skill. It just didn't get me. I got hit by bad breath. Didn't get it. Like 3 times in a row.
They had to patch it. They were like, okay, we got to patch that in there.
Yeah,
Yeah. So how about anybody else want to chime in on trophies?
I mean, the only trophy that I really enjoyed getting was the building character one, hitting level 50.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, I felt like I deserved a trophy for beating Hell House because I've said this before, but before I went into the Hell House fight, I had Cloud with elemental and fire on his sword. So that whole fight, and I was determined to do it because I went into it. I was like, I'm not starting this over. It took me like, I think my girlfriend was with me. I think it took me like a solid 2 hours to fight it because every time I hit it, I did 2 damage. I was just doing 2 damage to to the um to the Hell House. So I was like, this is gonna take a very long time. I kept dying. Aerith was basically just in the background throwing Phoenix Downs on me. That was all she could really do, and I just kept trying to beat it. So it took about 2 hours. I was like, I needed a trophy for that.
That was a raid boss.
Yeah, basically.
Raid boss.
We got Egg with Feelings says Jesse and the Bike Trophy, and Rimavel, the Dancing Queen, and we have Jimmy saying, wait, 2 damage a pop sounds like Vagrant Story Run. Yeah, Platinum from Kuta. Yeah, so Whack-a-Box, that's an interesting one. I remember doing that one. I had to figure out the strategy for that one because I was stuck on. I was like, why am I not getting this?
Triple slash.
Freaking triple slash. That was it. So anyways, we'll go on to favorite song from the OST, and then also throw in your favorite new song, like a song that wasn't in the original or wasn't like redone. You know what I mean? So for me, my favorite song is Tifa's theme from Seventh Heaven, or the Seventh Heaven Tifa theme.
Me too.
You too? I mean, it's just so freaking beautiful. I love that, and I could, you can just put it on and just, it brings back the nostalgia, as well as they did this really cool rendition of it. Really well done. My favorite new song, I couldn't decide. There was a tie because I feel like Corneo Coliseum is kind of like, it's just the thing that plays, for a little bit, and but it's so simple, but I love it. It was like one of the it's just like do like just kind of going on about, I don't know how it goes.
Yeah, it's really
yeah, there it is. And then like, and it is and it's just so amazing. Then you go into Fires of Resistance, which was I just thought that was a standout new song. So Fires of Resistance, which is the song that plays as
that's a good one.
Yeah, you're going up the up to the top. So after Platefall. So what do you guys think? Favorite song, favorite new song?
So my favorite song from the original soundtrack is Genova. I have that as a ringtone.
Oh, that's it's so good.
Wait, from the original Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not a very big fan of the remake,
the Dreamweaver
Genova.
Okay.
Yeah, I was disappointed with it. Only because of how high regard I hold the original song to. I was like, it needed to be just as amazing, and it just wasn't for me. I know the third phase, it kind of like creeps in there and everything. I just wanted it in my face, but and then the favorite new song, I can't find the name of it. It's really hard for me to find, but it's the when Tifa, or when you're doing squats or pull-ups, the song is playing in the background during
Most Muscular.
Most Muscular. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is a fucking banger.
That's an amazing song. I could listen to that just as like on like a Spotify playlist.
That's
I use that in my videos
music.
too.
That's some Smash Brothers music right there. If you want to get hyped for fucking any fighting game or just trying to warm up, that's the song to put on. So
I got a request from people to stop using it in my videos because it's giving them PTSD from the pull-ups.
That's funny because all I can remember hearing was, "You got it, let's go, yeah, bro!" The entire time. Yeah. And then like the
you can hear the
runs
beeps
that they were making as they do it. Just
doesn't it beep?
And I'm just like, I'm playing with
every time you press the button right, it's like
waiting for my wife to come out. But all right, so those are good picks. What about you, Viz? What's a song from the OST? By that I meant like the remake OST, not the original.
Remake. There's no single competition. It's the Airbuster. This is just so much pumping my blood. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. Definitely.
There's
There
two
are a
good
few
choices.
other ones that are really good, but nothing's as good as the Airbuster. It's just,
Man.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say like when you hear Scorpion, like when you the Scorpion.
Oh,
you're
for
just-
sure. That's also high up there. Yeah.
But yes, I agree. When the Airbuster show, oh my god, what about a brand new track, like something that wasn't like redone? Do you have any stood out to you?
Well, it's a melody. It has a melody that is known, but it's a completely new song. It's "Hole in the Sky" when you return to Sector 7.
Yeah.
This one is just crawled under my skin. It's so good and full of emotions. It's also has so little notes and little a few instruments, but it hits so hard.
Yeah. How about you, Baby Seal?
7 seconds till the end.
Oh,
I was about to fucking say that, dog. Why did I have to go second edition? I was like, I'm making it through. I'm gonna make it. No one's gonna say it.
Sleep Easy. He's not taking the song from you. It's still there, dude. What
It's still there.
What are you freaking out about, sir? Like he's not.
What are you talking about? He's saying it, and now I'm gonna go next, and it's gonna be like, oh, but that's my choice too. And it's like, well,
Sleep Easy. Literally, no one but you is thinking that, you insane person.
I mean,
Like, no one.
in very close second, quickening. I mean, and not to disagree. Well, actually, explicitly to disagree with Vincenzo.
Baby Seal fashion, dude.
When you're first fighting him, and that the third phase knocks in, and then the Genova song comes on. I remember feeling that in my spine. Like, holy shit, this is Genova, and it is on. Like I will never forget the feeling of hearing that for the first time. But just for pure composition's sake, I will say that 7 seconds till the end, which is done so just eerily and with a minimalist energy. I love it. New, I like the highway. I like the Midgar Expressway. I think Midgar Expressway is really, really fun.
That and High Five.
Is that the one that's like dan 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 dan, or is that a different one?
That's I forgot how it's called, but it's different.
Or is that the one that plays at the very end, like the very last time you're doing, like when you're fighting escaping Midgar? Which one is the Midgar Expressway?
Oh, he's talking about
Chapter 18.
Collapse Highway, or are you talking about
I'm talking
the
about
bike?
the track Midgar Expressway.
Yeah. Okay.
Chapter 18.
That's the bike one.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's it's the last one. It's not the one that when you're going to get Roche, like that was playing, right?
Right.
Okay, sorry. The awesome choices, man. I agree with you. Sorry, Vinny, but when Genova at first, I didn't like it. I was like, oh man, come on, man, this is not giving me the same. And you know, like I'm thinking it in my head as I'm playing. I'm like, oh man, not Genova. I was like, oh, they're doing it.
See, now in my defense, and maybe I just have to play through the game like a 200th time, but
maybe it's just the 200th time.
Like, so you know how I play video games. All of my characters were level 50 by the Genova Dreamweaver fight, so I clapped her cheeks in like 2 minutes. So maybe I just didn't get to.
You didn't get to hear it for that long.
Maybe I didn't get to hear it, but like I heard it. So maybe I just didn't. But I heard the trill going down, and it was just so. So maybe I just completely brushed over the third phase. It was such a quick boss fight. I also didn't like that, but I heard the trill in the background, but it was literally so low that I thought that was just their way of saying like this is a Genova boss fight, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't.
No, it's time.
I think you're supposed to be like level
queued.
30 there, right?
Well, no, it's musically cued to start at a certain phase of the fight. After you get past a certain HP gate, even if you get to that HP gate faster than you should, it forces the music to that point. So you
Stage
are
3,
supposed to get to that music no matter how good you are. Like,
I've seen that cutscene.
Yeah.
What you're saying is like you blew through stage 3 as well. Like it just kind of easy.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it as good as like the original.
Were you playing with headphones?
No, I don't play like.
Okay. That was just kind of curious because I had the headphones on, so I heard it, and it was just like it hit, you know, and like it hit with a punch.
Like even my sister who watched me, like my sister from what she was, you know, a baby, used to watch me just play Final Fantasy VII all the time. She was I probably more hyped than me when remake. She's never played it. She's only watched me play it, and I think she was
That's
more hyped when I told her about it because she was just like, I get to watch you play this now. And she watched me fight Genova Dreamweaver, and she was just like, I like the original song better. I didn't hear it. I was like, yeah, I didn't hear it either. So she was like with me on that because Genova's her favorite song too. And so
Nice.
I was like, yeah, I didn't hear, it just didn't give me that, like excitement that like
Yeah.
I was excited that it was a Genova fight, and then it wasn't like the Genova fight I wanted.
Gotcha.
So
I feel you.
You should check out Alex McCullough's video. That's how I discovered Alex McCullough. Was actually, it got recommended to me, the Genova Dreamweaver third phase, and his breakdown of it in relation to the original, and like what it is about those notes that gets our blood pumping. There's like a specific melody they use about it in a specific order that really just gets us going, and it's crazy how he broke it down. And I've been a subscriber to him ever since that. That shit was dope.
Yeah.
well, so
Yeah,
like
Alex is awesome, man. I had the privilege of talking to him as well on the show. Just
Nice.
awesome.
as far as those like so I take like I really like the music in Final Fantasy, and when I the battle music is what does it for me in most of their games. And well, something I noticed between like two of my top favorites, like between Genova and then a decisive battle in Final Fantasy VI, which is their boss music, they have very similar ways they go about composing it. And it's kind of like the same thing where at the beginning of a decisive battle, those notes that they hit just kind of like it gets you hyped, and then it kind of like cuts out, and then it comes back, and then it like cuts out again. It's just kind of like coming in waves, and
It
just
builds attention. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, it builds attention. And I hate the way I play because I always try and get over leveled because I like stomping bosses because then I get to go and do challenge runs. But like I hate the way I play because I never get to be in like dire situations where those songs make you feel like you're fighting a boss. Like if I was like level 5 fighting some of the end game bosses, that's when I got like the most feeling from those songs, because I was like, shit's actually hitting the fan. Or like, I'm playing catch up where like the boss is, wiped 3 out of 4 people, and I got to revive one, and then one dies, I revive another. Like, it's just like I'm like, actually sweating trying to think like, how am I going to get myself out of this? And the boss music, that's what like it makes me feel. And then I just didn't get that from the Genova Dreamweaver fight, so that's why I was disappointed with it.
I got you.
That's fair.
So Mo, what about you, man? What was your favorite song from the remake soundtrack?
From the remake,
Yeah.
there are two that are kind of standouts. Do you mean the sort of original tracks, like as in we're not in the OG,
So
or
like just what was your standout favorite track that can be redone, rendition or whatever, and then what was one that was kind of like a brand new thing to remake?
Okay. Well, I was actually quite surprised because my favorite tracks in the OG were Genova Synthesis and You Can Hear the Cries of the Planet. Neither of which, like they obviously versions of them do appear as you guys have just discussed in the remake, but they didn't quite hit the same notes for me. I'm totally with Viz that the Airbuster fight was incredible.
Yes.
The music from that, I'm quite into metal. So that was pretty cool. But the Midnight Rendezvous track, when you first enter Sector 6, was really beautiful in terms of a totally new, you don't really see it coming type track. Was brilliant for setting the mood. Every time, when I've played through the game and you enter into Sector 6 for the first time, when it kicks in, it's one of those moments where you want to stop playing and just look around, So I love that. I also love the Advent track, one of the Arbiters of Fate tracks. I'm pretty sure it's the
It's the first one, yeah.
I'm pretty
Advent,
sure it's
yeah.
called Advent. Yeah.
Yep.
That one I really like. That's I don't know that.
Yeah, good picks though.
I
Really good
think
picks.
yeah, those are the ones where at the time, the first time I heard them, made me go, "Holy shit, that's really cool." And I think we knew, like Blitz touched on earlier, like Max Dude had spoken about the Airbuster music, so I think we all knew it was coming. But the other two, I had no idea were coming, and they sort of stopped me in my tracks. So yeah, I think those are my favorites.
Awesome picks. Well, Sleep Easy, you've already kind of said that, somebody's already stolen it, so I don't want to hear your opinion.
The fuck about this
I
guy.
told you this was gonna happen, Tatsu.
I knew it.
I
Sorry.
fucking told you, dog.
Pick me first. That's what he's trying to say.
Skip right over me now.
There seems to be a theme here, Sleep Easy, of you taking other people's work.
Oh,
Wow.
I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta go. Thank you for everybody hanging out. It's been great. I have all of my work
Valkyrie is
borrowed.
underrated. Ramen noodles.
Have you seen my credits, by the way? All of my
Valkyrie's
credits
really good too.
are at least like 2 minutes long for that very
Yeah.
reason.
You know, to be fair to you, did actually make up for all of that by putting my book at the beginning of the sixth video. So like, all is forgiven.
I appreciate that. It's a good book. Check it out.
That's right.
If you can
I
get
know,
a hold of it.
I wrote it.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me. I wrote it. So seven seconds was your favorite. There it is. The Norse inspired Final Fantasy. Eyes on Biz.
I was gonna say, because since it's a City of the Ancient repeat,
Right.
What are we doing?
Are we doing this? Should I go get my copy? Like what?
No, please.
I know everyone's just fucking running.
I don't think my ego can handle
Tatsu's
this.
reading his by the fireplace right now.
Oh, am I
Man,
late? Wait,
man.
hold on. Everybody do it again. I was late. Hold on. Everybody do it again.
Thumbnail.
Mine's out in the living room.
Thumbnail.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
Actually, yeah,
I'm
can
actually, I think I
someone
think I
get
got
a
a different
screenshot
one.
of this?
It's okay.
This is the
It's
best
okay,
thing.
Blitz. In post, I'll throw it in. Don't worry.
I think
about
I
it.
got a
Okay, hold
different
on,
one.
can I-
Hold your hands up.
I'll hold
Throw it in
this.
post.
I'll hold
I
Get
this.
don't
your
know.
green screen book up.
I got the Spyro edition. I
Perfect.
don't know if I'm reading the right one.
Fantastic.
I got the Spyro edition.
The Spyro Ultimania.
I thought you said
Sony's
Spyro.
releases.
He's got the Spyro
Oh yeah, Spyro
audio
Spyro
book
edition.
narrated by John Eric.
by John Eric Bentley.
I think it's a toss up.
Opens it with, "Man, I love this game."
I gotta do a let's
One
play.
time I
With
played it with M.J. Gallagher.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotta do a let's play with John now.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Amazing. All right, guys. So, how about let's? I'm not like I'm actually trying to move on from. You want to throw one out there, Sleep Easy? You want to throw one out there?
To be brief, I like every rendition of Aerith's theme song. I really like I think that the name of this track has not been fully released, but a title right before going into the singularity, I think, is like one of the greatest songs in the entire. Like, just I love it to death because it's just perfect build up. Challenging Destiny, I think, is what it's referred to as in my MP3 player that I'm looking at.
Do you
from
have
the 2000s.
the remake soundtrack plus?
I have downloads of a unofficial source of
Hold
information.
on,
so
as I downloaded remake plus a few days ago, so I'll see if I can just while you guys are talking, I'll see if I can get the actual name for you.
I think there are two tracks, those chosen by the planet Destiny Comes, and then Changing Fate.
If it's Changing Fate, then
Yeah.
that's what Rimvel. I would never do something like illegally download music. That has not been. That's such a no on the internet, dude. Like, how dare you accuse me of that? Cycle of Souls was my other pick, which is just an Advent children's song redone, and it was that key turning moment for me where I was like, I think this is way bigger than I could have ever fucking expected it to be. And I just, from that point on, obviously that scene was also crazy, but it was that scene that like just made me look at the game in a completely different way. Like, just moving forward, the entire thing had changed. And at that point, I was also okay with things being different because I was like, this is completely new. This is new. What's happening here? So I love that song for that reason alone. So
Yeah, that's another. By the way, that's another one of those things that everybody has the lyrics wrong too, thanks to thanks to the Wikipedia.
Which lyrics?
The Latin lyrics are completely
Sorry, this
mistranslated.
is it's a lot of things like Sector 6 being Zirconiad, Latin lyrics. I think something restrictor related as well is also false. For anybody knowing what I'm talking about, it doesn't really matter. It's very,
I love hanging
very
out with you
minor
guys. There's just random like bits of information that just I love learning it.
shit. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I do.
It's okay.
Last night we were streaming the Materia Lockdown, and there was a sign behind the honeybees, and it was like we were like, what is 1970? And then it says sweet. And I said, I'm not Baby Seal. I can't break that down I don't know what that is. Okay. Like, I don't know why it says sweet and then 1970 above it. I don't know what was going on in 1970 in this world, but it was sweet.
Nojima does. That's that to this day. I think one of my favorite Easter eggs in the remake is the Palmer scene, because it's you have to know like proper like third or fourth tier Easter egg level shit in Final Fantasy VII to understand why Palmer's there. It's mad. I'm not going to tell you. If you don't know, then you're lost.
If you know, you know, and if you don't, that's all right.
Fuck you.
Who you are. Everyone else go fuck yourself.
Yes,
All right.
Gatekeeping in Final Fantasy VII community from
Nobody got no love for the Ghoul Boss theme song.
I saw it in chat. I saw it pop up.
Good.
I hate the ghoul fight with all my heart. So
he is a bias though.
I got an easy guide for that. You're gonna be.
I got a guide for that. YouTube.com/BL.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Hard mode, no healing.
The ghoul music.
Do you want to hear how to beat it? It's insane.
Hard mode, no healing.
Oh no!
Yeah,
healing.
so he did no healing hard mode, and I watched him. I think for at least 2 hours.
I was
just throwing himself at this boss.
Bro, that thing is just tossing. It's tossing furniture, and it's like literally just tossing your salad the whole fight without healing.
Painting the walls, dude.
And it's weak to healing, so you know.
Yeah,
what a surprise!
Heal
Shocker. No, you can't. That's a challenge, dude.
You can't.
Gotta be in the
Seal,
red.
don't read my fucking book, man. Come on.
Yeah, fucking. What are you bending that shit for, dude? That's the first edition.
Paid for it. He can do what he wants.
I'm getting a hard copy.
You're getting a hard what?
Yeah.
You're getting.
I was thinking the same thing, Mo. You better finish that fucking
it.
sentence, Doc.
Can I throw some love to all of every single wall market theme?
Oh yeah,
just real quick,
yeah.
Because I feel like it's always like people like battle themes a lot, but I think especially for me in the original game, the wall market theme really stuck with me, like a lot. It's like the fact that there's like 15 different fucking versions of it, and in the original it's just like ba-dum bum, ba-dum bum, ba-dum bum. It's like the simplest shit ever. But I love procedural music, and like as you go through the different areas, it really sets the tone for like it's just so well realized. Like Wall Market, it's so good.
Did you guys know that the first 13 notes of the Wall Market theme match exactly with A Whole New World from Aladdin?
Really?
What? Really?
I gotta research that now.
Oh my god!
Throw in Return of Jafar VHS. And we're fucking researching it. I'm having a April Fool's episode with Bazuazath where we compare Aladdin to.
And hey, that's the most famous Ifrit.
That's how it connects to Kingdom Hearts. There we go.
Yeah,
it all like connects the dots.
It's not even a joke.
It's not even a joke.
There's similarities in that vein as well. And
yeah, there's actually bizarre, like there's creepy lore similarities between the Jinn and the Cetra.
So Robin Williams confirmed for the rest of the remake.
Oof. Too soon, dog.
Right, yeah, that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you actually forget? Did you?
He's always with me, dog. He's here. Always with me. He's always with me.
Such a fucking idiot.
It happens.
Did you forget?
I didn't forget. I was just in the moment, dude. And we were talking about Genie. I was dragging up feelings. That's all that happened.
It'll be the guy who voices Homer as he does his voice now.
Get Sleepy ejected right now. That is. I didn't come here to listen to that filth.
All right, guys, let's go over to
Gotta transition away.
favorite
Kind of a segue here.
What's
Just
wrong,
a little bit of
Daniel?
a segue.
Cut back. We can't be in this segment any longer.
Let's go to favorite character and favorite new character in Final Fantasy VII Remake. My favorite character was Barrett. I thought in Remake, I thought he just John Bentley just did a freaking fantastic job bringing that character to life. He, in many ways, feels like the main character throughout. And then my favorite new character is Roche. Actually, I thought Roche actually fit into the Final Fantasy VII, like just the whole like the feel of Final Fantasy VII, because the original is known for these really outlandish characters and like just over the top characters, and to bring that in and give you another soldier that you don't really get to explore too much in the original. Just to have another soldier there, and this guy is just over the top. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super fun. So yeah, those are my two picks. What do you guys got?
Honestly, I have to say Barrett as well.
Yes.
I legit stole the show for me. Enjoyed
a whole lot of Barretts, because
I see you
the
steal
John
my
Eric,
answer.
This is the John Eric Bentley hour, guys, by the way. But no, for real, like his character, legit, because I told him this when I was speaking with him, that when I was younger and I played the game, I liked Barrett, don't get me wrong, but I always felt more of like, once I left Midgar and got past like, Barrett's like Mount Corel scene, I kind of stopped using him. I didn't really use him as much in my personal party, and I feel like with Remake and the direction that he's taken the character and how he embodies the whole entire soul is definitely my favorite character in the game by far. And his combat's amazing, man. Nobody uses him with like his melee stuff, and it's absolutely insane. The character overall is just so great. And my favorite new character is Broomstick Lady in Sector 7.
The Broomstick Lady.
Broomstick Lady, man. She took out a whole platoon of Wu-Tai warriors by herself.
I think she's like a
zero
theorist.
material.
Like, see if you're looking for different timelines, Zach, to appear anywhere in Remake, it has to be her.
Yeah,
that has to be her.
Kind of just single-handedly took out the Wu-Tai. It's got to be Broomstick Lady. You heard it here first.
She's the one.
Fizz, get on this. Get on this, Fizz.
That's the Pitbull timeline.
Not to jump too much on the Barrett train, but I'm super gonna jump on the Barrett train.
Yeah,
but I feel like, especially playing
getting off this train.
I was gonna say, I love
getting off this train.
Yeah,
like super back to back. Like especially because I played the original and Remake back to back. I loved Barrett as a character, and like you said, Blitz, it kind of like even like later on in the game, like Sid, you play as Sid for a bit, where I felt like it would have been way more appropriate to play as Barrett, because he always played like a leader role there, and I loved that. And even if I'm thinking back to my playthrough of Remake, I don't think there's a character I more consistently was like, man, I love this character than Barrett, because like so many of his scenes, like it's just so good. And like even at the end, I loved so fucking much that he gets his own moment before he steps through the portal, where he looks back and like says I'm like, don't wait for me, Marlene, and stuff. Like I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking good. And I love that they fleshed out his character more in a way they didn't add anything new. They just built more on an already great character. And I think new favorite, I saw someone else in the chat said it, Madam M. I think she's great. I think she's very, very cool. And I'm excited to see in what ways they reincorporate all these new characters in the future. But Madam M was fucking great, and her scene's hilarious.
I feel like we'll see her again. In future ones. Yeah.
Show up at the Gold Saucer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that actually fit really well.
I'm exactly the same answer as Tatsu. That I would actually, I think, is a very close call. I think Tifa and Aerith's characterizations were amazing. Just expanding on what they were in the original and what they have been in the extended compilation. I think the delivery of them was just first class. But I definitely think Barrett is the one that stood out for me. And I'm kind of conflicted about it. because I don't know, like my answer is maybe not as straightforward as everyone else's. That obviously most of you guys have been able to speak to John kind of since remake came out. I was very lucky to have met John kind of in the months preceding the remake's launch. So I actually met him twice, once in Glasgow and once in London at the Spiral convention.
Spiral convention.
It sounds like a joke.
It's the other timeline.
Yeah.
I was, just because of the circumstances of what we were doing that weekend, I actually got to spend quite a lot of time with John, and would consider him a friend. But when you get into that situation that you guys play, or you got to learn about Barrett, or you got to experience Barrett and then got to meet John, whereas I did it in reverse. So I wasn't playing Barrett, I was playing John, which is a really, and I can't really get away from that. Especially the we're going on an adventure song.
Yeah,
like it's John Bentley that's singing this. Yeah, so it's for that, I was actively rooting for the character. But one of the things that I don't know how many of you guys also have kids. Baby Seal, obviously has kids, and you as well, Dan. But one of the things, like Barrett is quite often represented as a fantastic father figure, and he is. When he's with Marlene, he really is, and he's a good way of showing how you should be treating a young child and all that sort of stuff. But I get conflicted that when you're in that situation, you can't also be a freedom fighter or an environmental terrorist.
Depends on what side you're on.
Because
depends on who you ask.
There's the scene in chapter 11 where Tifa has that vision of her and Marlene talking about the train graveyard and the ghosts at the train graveyard, and Marlene is quite upset because Barrett's not there. It's very likely that Barrett is out doing avalanche things, which there's at any given time, one day he will not come home, sort of thing, and he's actively choosing to not come home. The same idea that he leaves Marlene with Elmira because he has to fight for the planet, and he's choosing that over Marlene, which means that he's not as strong a father figure as you might expect him to be on the surface. So I'm quite conflicted about that. As a father myself, it doesn't quite sit well with me. So to answer your question, I think Barrett has been delivered absolutely amazingly, and John has a huge amount to do with that. I think John's performance is the best of everyone because of just the scene at the beginning of chapter 13 where in the original game, after the plate collapses, Barrett is running around screaming for Marlene and he starts shooting his gun arm, whereas in the remake he uses his fist to pound the rubble. Like that change alone, like the intimacy and what John brings to that particular scene is just incredible. But I do find myself, I'm rooting for Barrett because it's John, but the deeper I've gone into that and the deeper the little scenes have been introduced, I'm really finding myself conflicted about the character. One thing is going to come up in one of my latest video. Did any of you guys spot that at no point did Barrett or anyone else ask Elmira's permission to leave Marlene?
No, he
seriously, he just left.
Just dropped her off, right? Yeah, okay.
I do
say
notice
no.
it.
What you gonna like?
It was almost just in from my perspective at that point, it felt implied that there was something happening off screen, because by the time that like everyone's awake and they're just like, all right, time to bounce, like we're gonna go do some avalanche shit. But like I see your point.
So that's like obviously when they go to Deep Ground the first time, like okay, you can maybe get away with it because they imply that they're coming back. But when they go to rescue Aerith again, even though you're given the opportunity to walk up to the bedroom or you're given the opportunity to speak to Elmira, at no point do they ask permission. But they do in the original game. And I'm assuming that's just an oversight, but imagine being a new player to that. Like Tatsu, you might have picked up on this, but if you have no concept of the original, you must be like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Where's this fucker going, dude?
Well, yeah,
Is what Elmira's saying.
He's literally just walked out on his daughter and not discussed it.
He's like, you'll be all right. Your daughter's captured, so you just hold my daughter for now.
So,
what did Elmira say when she watched Wedge though? Like, didn't she say something along the lines?
Yeah,
of,
she won't leave a man out in the street.
Yes,
so
I guess
same thing. He doesn't ask permission.
It was just Barrett's like, okay, well, I guess you wouldn't be a kid either, so I'm gonna bounce.
Although Barrett did apologize to her to give her this burden of looking after people, but only after Wedge, not before.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's very interesting.
There you go.
That's an interesting character analysis too, about like, everybody sees him as a this amazing father figure, but is he really? And I feel like that would be cool. I have a feeling they will explore that further.
Oh, I cannot wait until the Corel element of the game for this exact reason.
I feel like that character, out of every character in the game, I think just by default, Barrett gets so much of the weight of characterizing like the rest of what we're going to be seeing in Remake. And I think that just by that fact alone, he's like a super difficult character to ignore, is because just so much pressure has been put onto that role to like set up so much in my mind, just from what I've been like researching and stuff like that. But I think even to Mo's point, I think that there is an importance to how like Barrett is failing on some level to accomplish all of the things that he's setting out to achieve. I think Barrett is not in that stage of his own character development, from what I feel about Remake, to like have that self-realization about like what is the real, like, I think he's shouldering a lot of weight. Like, I think that like with like Avalanche and like all of the things that he's causing, and like the burden of his team that he's trying to take on, but also having not gone through the Corel stuff yet, or dealing with that, I think this character is like just being set up to be completely blindsided by so much of like what he might have been pushing away, in terms of his own personal responsibility, or confronting that personal responsibility. I don't necessarily I like Barrett for that. And I would say that like, there's a lot of good characterization. I like Aerith for that same reason, where it's like a plot element though, is that I like Barrett's emotion. I like Aerith suppressing so much, but I could say the same thing about Tifa. I think they handle that pretty well. Is that they both like are these characters that are just not allowed to, or feel like they don't have a place to voice like the what they're going through. Some physically with like the whispers with Aerith, and then Tifa's just personal, like sort of, the way that she acts. And I think, again, with difficulty answering this, I hate to say it, I think most of the characters have like adopted such a strong sense of the compilation sort of writing of them that it's really difficult not to like all of them to a certain degree. But I would say that Barrett and Aerith are just up there for me in terms of like my own personal taste. I don't know if there's any particular, I would say, I don't know if I like any of the newer characters as much as I like those three. I think Roche has not had the chance to develop into like what he like. I don't know why I like him. I like him theoretically. I like what he's getting up to, or like maybe to be used in a more prominent way later. I think there's a lot of interesting puzzle pieces with that. But I could say that about any of the intergrade characters, is like on paper, these characters could be very interesting, but until the story is finished, which is why I like the rest of the Final Fantasy VII cast, is because I know where these people end up emotionally. And from there, it's like, okay, well, how are they setting that up? I can't it's too difficult to answer because I would say that it's not they're not there yet for me.
Well,
Yeah,
then
that
maybe
makes
you
sense.
could let Mo answer what his favorite new character is.
Sorry. I was just impassioned by what he said, so I'm sorry for jumping the gun.
I'm just waiting for this to get better by Dan giving us another Star Wars analogy.
Somebody brought up Star Wars in the chat, and I was like, "Ooh, an opportunity."
Actually, do you know what? I came really close to it earlier on when we were talking about kind of remakes and nostalgia, and was going to make an analogy with The Force Awakens, and then I thought, no, Dan will never let me live this down. But no, I did actually answer the question. I agree with Tatsu that Madam M by a country mile, I think, was the best new character, and she was my favorite anyway. But when you guys had Mallory on the show, it just took it to a new level. So yeah,
that was so great, man.
It was awesome. Her impression of the Mad Libs was.
It was so great. We did the Mad Libs with her, and like she got in character. It was so awesome because of the build up, because she would wait for about like maybe good 5 minutes, maybe. I don't even know, I don't know, it felt like 5 minutes of just silence as she got in character, and I'm just like and then she nailed it. Like when she got like she's talking about like Dwayne Johnson giving massages and stuff. I was done. I was done. And she did it all without breaking character and in Madam M's voice. It was so fun. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing some more Madam M in Final Fantasy VII remake. Anybody else want to chime in? We do have I have a few more questions.
Hey, Baby Seal, did you answer the question?
Yeah.
No. So on performance, Barrett, John Eric Bentley nailed Barrett, but
yeah,
clean sweep.
If I've got
clean sweep,
if I've got to name a character this go around specifically for remake, Aerith absolutely stole the show in terms of her new characterization, building up all this, building the mystery. Like the entire essence of her development is why we're talking. Her and Sephiroth, honestly. And so I think the reason most of us have had a year's worth of 10-hour theory conversations has been centered around her as a character. And if you're going to take a character like Aerith, who was the last of her race and represented something very elemental in the OG, and then add elements to her character, you have to do so in a very delicate and very mindful way, and I think they nailed it with her. As far as favorite new character, and this is just my opinion, I think Andrea Rodea killed it. Not only just a great performance in every VA I've seen for him, but just personally, I thought that the character created a very safe queer space for Final Fantasy VII that it really needed, especially based on how I'll say poorly the Honeybee Inn scene aged from the OG. I think giving it that safe and really, I think, healthy and positive representation. It was the first moment that I cried during remake was during the Honeybee dance scene, because it just felt like there was really solid representation, and it felt very safe.
It really brought in a sort of embodiment of class to the Honeybee Inn. It was it was fantastic to the point where this is something that, you know, I'd like to think that I'm, you know, is very living, let live, and open-minded and whatnot. And one of the things that I wrote in the original draft of the Norse Myths book is that it does actually mention Andrea, and I wrote his pronoun as he, and my editor actually pointed out at no point does it actually refer to Andrea as he in the game. And it was like, do you know what? Actually, yeah, that's a sort of ingrained assumption. So yeah, if you read the book again, I use Andrea's pronoun as they, or refer to him as Andrea, because I don't, I don't know. I'm not going to make that judgment call. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I think it's something that it was a fantastic addition for that, exactly the reasons that you've just pointed out, Clark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mindfulness is the key word with like everything that it seems like Final Fantasy VII Remake sort of set out to accomplish. So I completely agree too.
Nice. That's a cool one. Andrea, that is a really good one. How about you, Viz?
I just have to join the others with Barrett. Well, most of the others. It's just it's really hard because
Viz, just get your own opinion, man.
I told you, dude. Fucking Last is just
Last is just worse.
you gotta feel it out, dude. I believe in you. I'm gonna sit here.
I'm not done.
He's not done.
So yeah, in general, all four main characters, all five if you include Red 13, are really high up there, But it's this something that Barrett has all throughout the game, and also those two little small tiny animations which give away, if you know, a huge chunk of his backstory. Like when Elmira tells the others that Aerith is not her blood, her daughter by blood, Barrett goes like, It's really subtle, but you see it if you look at it. And in front of the diorama in their tour, the Shinra tour, the exhibition, he also says that he used to buy into their bull crap. And then he looks at his gun, and then you know what he refers to when he lost his arm. So it's really this subtle storytelling which probably newcomers wouldn't get, most likely. But it's really well done. It tells us that they are connecting everything without telling those who are not in the know what's actually up.
There was one thing that I want to bring up. I think it was the last time I talked to Mo. I think it was Mo that brought up a very interesting tidbit. Was when Barrett was walking on the underneath the plate. You have to turn the lights on and stuff. And he said he was scared of heights, or like he was just implying that he was scared of heights. I was like, oh wow, I didn't make that kind of connection, but you know why he's scared of heights. Yeah, cool.
Even in chapter 15, when you need to thread this beam.
Yeah.
Don't look down. Don't look down.
And in when
chapter
you're
5.
crossing in chapter 5, when you're crossing under the plate and the fans are blowing.
Chapter 6. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, chapter 6. Yeah.
6. Sorry.
Viz, you might be able to sort of point this out because it's actually been a while since I played chapter 16 again. Does Barrett reference at any point whether or not he's been to HQ before, or that he's familiar with HQ?
I don't remember any dialogue referencing that now.
I don't think so, because Sleep Easy and I just went through chapter 16.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is that in Crisis Core, Zach, there's a mission, not a mission, sorry, there's one of the NPCs makes reference to, it basically describes Barrett having arrived with a party from Corel to HQ.
Right.
Which means that Barrett has actually been there during the negotiations and setup of the Corel reactor.
Right.
So I didn't. I don't remember catching that in my first playthrough, but it's been in my mind to ask one of you guys if you caught it.
No. That's something to 100% look into, though. I didn't notice any sort of interaction with him in Shinra. Or
just something along the lines of, like in the original game, Cloud says that he's never been to HQ, which Crisis Core retcons by showing him in the soldier department. But it's like, it's one of these really, really minor things that if you don't speak to that particular NPC during Crisis Core, you'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
But it does, it is canon that Barrett has been in HQ before. So there you go.
Yeah,
cool.
thanks.
Interesting.
Shame that they didn't pick this one up in the remake. This little tidbit.
I don't
What
know.
about,
Maybe it is there.
Yeah.
What about new character, Viz?
New character is for me a tie between Marl and Madam M.
Ooh,
Okay.
Marl.
Yeah, Marl. Marl is really the like the grandmother of the slums for me, and her and Tifa's relationship is really an interesting one, tender but still firm, and she really looks after Tifa, even to the point to make sure that Cloud treats her right in every single way. It's really
And she has amazingly rendered hair too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, yeah,
just like yours,
sure.
Blitz.
Oh,
Um,
just trying to get into my hot tub.
I see.
Quick bonus: Johnny is underrated. Johnny is really well done in the remake.
Johnny is underrated.
Peter Parker.
Do you know who that is, Tatsu?
Johnny? Yeah, what? Yeah.
what?
You know who Johnny
That's
is?
my favorite new
Yeah.
character. That's my favorite new character.
I did his
Peter
quest.
Parker is, yeah.
Just actually to go back to that joke about Blitz there, it's just dawned on me that because of the way Blitz's screen is, it does actually look as if his hair's remake, but the door is really low res.
That's amazing. Nice touches. Look at that.
I was
I
saying
don't
at one
approve
point,
of
I think I
this.
said on Twitter, I was like, I hope Intergrade has at least one blurry door, just one, or was that maybe somebody said that on
I
Twitter?
think on
Was that
Final
not
Forecast.
Was that
Final
no?
Forecast, yeah.
That's what
was
it
it? Was it? I thought it was State of Play that we joked about that, but okay.
I don't know what's
So-
going on.
I
Yeah.
hope there's a bit in part 2 where there's just like a really nice looking door and they're like, look how good this door looks. And they just
I
go
like
off
that door.
for
I
like
want to
5 minutes of dialogue.
I want the door to either be so detailed that it chunks to like 5 FPS. Like
Yeah, it's just the room, the characters, and the door, and like nothing else.
PC benchmarks have to highlight doors.
You see the
Right.
fucking
That's it.
polygons on these doors? Holy shit.
yeah.
We're putting all our energy now.
The crisis.
These
3
ain't your
doors.
2020 doors.
I want
Yeah.
a page in
2020
Ultimania. I want a
Yeah.
page in Ultimania.
Y'all
about the door.
complained. What? What's the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now you're mad about too high res doors?
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do is just as a joke to rather than having loading screens in the PS5 version, it's just like that old Resident Evil thing. You know, it went to the door.
It's a
like,
really
that's the
nice
old-
door. It slowly opens.
They got
Oh
yeah,
my
we're
God.
joking about this, but there's actually some guy in like Square Enix headquarters like working night and day on these doors. He's like sweating bullets. He's like, oh my
He's
god,
like,
yo, they
Get that guy
shit about
fired.
these
The murder
doors.
comes by and he just drops like a bunch of work on his desk, and there's 6,000 doors in this game, and every one of them has to be perfect. And then he just like leaves.
Can I
It's
use
like,
the
I'm
same
about to get
model,
fired.
sir? No!
30% of the budget doors.
Yeah, he strikes me as the guy that he should apply for the Kate Sith whiskey and cigarette job. Does not give a shit.
Sounds like a great bar, honestly, like a Kate Sith sort of theme. I'm down with that.
Yeah, you come
Yeah.
to Scotland, you'll find
Golden
plenty of
saucer.
those, man.
You'll find plenty of them.
Yeah, but they're called Ketchi bars over there.
Catch you, that's right. Hey.
So I'm gonna go on to
I haven't gone yet.
Oh,
Vinny.
you know what, Vinny? I apologize, man. I apologize.
It's all right.
Why don't you give me your favorite character and favorite new character?
I mean, favorite character is John Eric Bentley.
Of course it is. It's not even Barrett. It's John
No,
Eric.
it's-
Bentley.
Yeah, it's not Barrett. It's John Eric Bentley.
Yep.
As played by Barrett. But no, favorite new character though is actually Leslie.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Because well, all right. So would you consider him a new character? Because I know he's in the compilation.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
for
okay.
the sake of discussion, I
Nobody
think it's
read that
fine.
book except
Sure.
for like the people in this chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
To be
yeah, so
fair,
then,
there's so much about Leslie that happens in the remake that's not explored in The Kids Are All Right. That
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
It's
yeah.
all new, yeah.
I-
He still
I-
hasn't met his Marl.
I feel like he has like my favorite Marvel character is Venom, and I feel like Leslie has a lot of like Venom vibes where he's like he's not good, he's not bad, he has his own motives. He helps the party because it benefits him. he doesn't help the party at times because it benefits him. Like he's doing everything for his own motives, and his motives are I think some of the most pure in the entire game. Obviously doing it for love, doing it for some, like, everything he's doing it for love. And he's kind of like I guess a little edgy, but he just seems like very just downtrodden because he's kind of like, you know, he's in a situation he doesn't want to be in. And I think we can all relate to that at some point in our lives. Like we've all had to, be in a situation we didn't want to be in, or like, whether it's something minuscule or something major in your life, you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I guess I kind of have to. Like, Leslie just feels very relatable as a
happened to his
character.
girlfriend too. It was like that's pretty rough. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I like see, but yeah, if you have actually read the story, what's going on, it doesn't explain it fully in the remake, and it doesn't explain it fully in the book. But if you actually read both of them in tandem, it's horrendous, really, really horrendous.
Mhm.
And he has it doubly hard because there are like 4 or 5 identical Leslie's fiance NPCs roaming around Wall Market. So finding the right one is really hard.
All right, I feel like it's safe to go on to the next topic here. I had like a couple more here. If you, I don't know what the time, like whatever you guys. I know it's really late.
I'm good.
I'm
good.
fine, but I'm in the most favorable time zone. So
Yeah,
Right.
I don't think I've got much more than, but at 2:20 a.m. In my time, which is much better than what Viz is.
3:22, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gee.
So I think I could maybe go until 3 a.m.
Okay.
Fortunately enough, I've got rum in my glass, which is keeping me going.
we can tell. We can smell it from here.
No,
We can-
The sauce monster.
typical Scotsman, shows up to a stream drunk.
Hey, Viz. Viz is a warrior, says DG Sunder.
Yeah, I try to be.
Warrior of hype. How you feeling, man? You feeling good? You feeling like keep on going?
Still good. Yeah, right now I'm doing good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm over the bridge.
Blitz is just looking at us like
Or
you
the
guys are
mountain.
amateurs, like 8 a.m. I finished.
I streamed for 11 hours,
Sleep?
got 2 hours of sleep. I'm just pumping iron, dude. This is a rep for me.
Hey,
I do-
no
I
getting
do
off of
have-
this stream.
Oh, no, getting off the stream. I do have just a little game to play after these questions, so I just kind of want to make sure that I got.
Yeah. Let's jump through these questions.
So I'm gonna actually go ahead and I had, if you guys want to do like a really quick, like if you have like quick thoughts on it, do you have a one-liner or monologue that really sticks out to you? The reason why I put this on the list is because I personally I love the quote that Barrett says, "A good man who serves a great evil is not without sin." I was just like, God, that's an amazing quote. So do you guys have any quotes that stuck out to you? Even one-liners or anything, any quick dialogue moments?
I know, nailed
got a
it.
funny
Moving
moment.
on.
Same.
I feel like that was going to be unanimous, but like,
I just want to honorable mention to the fact that they brought the pizza line into remake.
I was
yeah.
literally about
Yeah, the
to say,
pizza.
I'm
you owe
sorry.
me pizza.
I'm sorry.
The only one
getting
Nope.
robbed tonight.
I like I think it was against like Roche, and I think it was Roche, right? Where somebody asked Cloud, what is he doing? And he's like, same shit, being a dumbass.
yes.
I was like, yes.
I love that. Yeah.
There's a couple of standout lines for me. The one right at the opening of the game, where Cloud tells Barrett to get help. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But there's another far deeper one. It's President Shinra that delivers it in Chapter 7, where he basically calls Barrett's eco-terrorism bullshit. And it's like the public actually know what they're doing to the planet, and they don't care. Like, and it's that one hits hard.
Yeah, and then like just to kind of go to chat real quick, like the "Let's Dance, asshole," like that was Sly Memo said that, and then Rimavel with "Really sorry about your ass."
That's good.
I love the little slap effect when she like slaps it.
I'll be honest, during the Harbinger fight, when Cloud just out of nowhere, like the music is crescendoing and he just says, "Bring it on, bitch," and you're like, whoa,
Yeah,
my blood, my heart started pumping. I was like, it's like,
yeah.
He called Fate a bitch.
Speaking of another line, actually, that only makes sense to fans of the OG is when Cloud and Aerith leave the rooftop of the church, and Aerith says, "Should be Mosey," and Cloud says, "Let's."
Oh yeah,
yeah, let's.
And yeah, you like the delivery of that, it makes no sense whatsoever if you haven't played the OG. But if you have played the OG, it's fucking brilliant.
I think it's great too because when, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when he says it later at 5 parts from now, but when he says it, I feel like it's going to be a great reference to he got that from Aerith. Now we know that he got it from Aerith. He didn't just he didn't say let's mosey, but now he's basically just going to be kind of quoting Aerith and only he knows
posthumously.
Well, it comes full circle, right? Because she probably heard it from them, and then I was like, I'm gonna use it now again. It's just a fucking, a fucking loop, dude.
What timeline are we in?
Yeah, what timeline is this?
This is the Great Dane timeline we're talking about.
All right, so quick thoughts on favorite boss fight. For me, I actually was, God, I still don't even, I have it and I don't know which one I'm going to choose, but I'm just going to say both Scorpion and Genova Dreamweaver. Those are my 2 favorites. What about you guys?
Rufus. I like beating the shit out of him.
Instant stagger and
yeah.
Rufus was kind of difficult on hard mode for me. I don't know. I must have been messing up.
I'm trying to think.
Triple slash and sleep materia.
Okay.
And braver him once and he staggered and the fight's done.
Braver him once, he staggers, and you can cast. Yeah, then you can just
stop. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Any other boss fights, guys?
Sephiroth. That's all I'm gonna say.
I was gonna say. I feel like Sephiroth's the low-hanging fruit, but yeah, Sephiroth.
It's just because
I was so afraid.
In
Baby
hard
Seal's
mode, Solo Roche is my favorite fight.
Baby Steel's not gonna like this, but Ghoul was my favorite.
Fucking eye roll over here.
Why didn't you should have just healed him, bro? What the fuck?
I know.
Yeah, dude.
It goes against the
code.
The code of challenge runs. No healing. No healing means no healing yourself or the enemy.
If your health ain't red, you ain't doing it right.
But yeah, no, I like the mechanics in the Ghoul fight. Just as a straight standard fight where you are allowed healing. But I just liked the mechanics in the Ghoul fight where he was changing from magic defense, physical defense, and honestly, something I never really liked in boss fights in the past is when the boss takes your ability, the ability for you to even see or touch them. I never liked that as a boss mechanic because to me that's just okay, we're gonna make sure you can't do damage. But I think they did it really well, and they kept the theme of this is a ghost and it's throwing furniture at you. It was just all these subtleties were really nice. I really enjoyed that in the Ghoul fight.
I probably
anybody else
on soloing Bahamut.
Bahamut was fun.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe nobody's saying Unknown Specimens.
That song in Bahamut against Bahamut is really good too.
Yeah.
I don't know what's that track called. I gotta find that tonight.
It's called Summoning Summons, I believe.
Summon squared. I think just because of the build up to it, the Airbuster fight is pretty amazing. And as something that's kind of flying under the radar, Crab Warden was actually a pretty good fight.
I know, right?
Yeah,
True.
just
Yeah.
particularly in the last phase when he starts
It had a don't stand in the fire mechanic. I love that.
Yeah, it was like a proper Final Fantasy 14 thing. It was like, okay, we're going to electrocute everything. Don't stand in the fucking tracks. That was pretty cool.
After my first hard mode playthrough, I probably would have said Hell House, to be totally honest, just because the shock of that was that was the first time you're like, oh wait, this could be hard. It's the first time I died the entire game. And so I would say that for first playthrough, but 600 hours later, different answer.
We got Valkyrie in the chat with Egg with Feelings says Valkyrie. Zombie Nug says Reno Rude. That was kind of cool.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's good. And then somebody said the motorcycle chase. Egg with Feelings once again. The motorcycle chase in chapter 17.
Motorball was pretty cool.
Yeah. So we're going to go to the next one. I'm going to ask two like big questions here. So favorite moment, and then I'll ask the next one. But your favorite moment in Final Fantasy VII Remake. I feel like this is kind of a tough one here for me. I'll start it off the opening. That was it. Like the opening is, even to this day when I play it, I still get chills. Just the title screen, zooming back into the train, I'm overwhelmed every time I play it. I think when I think of what I wanted from Remake, I think of exactly that. Like that was everything I had ever hoped and dreamed, and being like opening it up with that, playing it at E3, all of these big moments that surround that, it's my favorite moment in the game, and I just keep playing it over and over and over. So
I think so, sort of by show of hands, like, did anyone either demo or full release not cry when that happened?
I cried 100%.
I was in some mess, like,
yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
real. I made the mistake of playing it in front of my kids the first time, and that was,
Oh God.
that was an interesting discussion afterwards.
Look, sometimes Daddy just gets very overwhelmed. Okay, Final
Just-
Fantasy VII is the shit.
Beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Oh yeah, that I was super emotional playing that for the first time. I mean, when I played the mission for the first time, I was at E3, and that was just, I could barely like hold it together. I was just like blindly or tunnel vision going through the mission, because I couldn't believe what was happening, and then playing the demo every single day. Yeah. So what about you guys? Any favorite moment in Final Fantasy?
For me, it's always changing. Like there's never like there's so many good moments. I can't directly pick one. It's always something new every week when I think about it. But one of my subscribers recently brought it up to me. The Great Achiever. Shout outs to Great Achiever if you're watching this. But I'm actually gonna make a video on this next. But I'm a big Tifa fan. Everybody knows I use her in like 100% of my thumbnails. And I get shit about it all the time because I don't use like other girls or whatever. But I like Tifa, you know. But Aerith's resolution scene has actually become one of my, because of his theory. Apparently, his theory is that in Remake, that Aerith that comes and talks to Cloud is actually the original timeline, or the live stream Aerith.
Yep.
That comes into the like fold and like, you know, is talking to Cloud. And like if you think about that with that context, a lot of the stuff she says really applies with that theory. And I'm like, damn, that actually makes that like resolution scene way more deep, because it's like she's talking to him like after her death, like letting him know it's okay. Like she was never upset at him, but you know, to help him deal with what's supposed to come later, don't fall in love with me, you know. And the way that they delivered that entire scene, like, you know, rewatching it again 2 days ago when he sent me it and sent me the in a DM with like the theory, I was like, oh shit, damn, that's actually really, really dope. And I really like, I mean, all the resolution scenes are great.
Yes.
Barrett's, you know, Tifa's, they're all really good. But Aerith's always had like a special, like, you know, thing to it that I can definitely appreciate, because even though I am a big Tifa fan, and I guess like, you know, Clo Tifa is what they call like the Cloud and like Tifa like Sims or whatever. I like that aspect about it, but like I really think that that's a great scene that's going to stick with me for a little bit, and I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, all of the resolutions. Anybody else have like resolutions as one of their favorite moments?
I like the Aerith one.
The Tifa one's really close for me.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the
Tifa
I like the Tifa one a lot because it's very platonic, and I was even commenting on it like while I was watching it. I'm like, this isn't a romantic thing. It's like she's coming from a place because she knows Cloud is the only other person who understands what she has fully gone through in terms of losing her home and everything. So it's not, I don't know. That's why I like that scene so much, because it shows them just as like It really reconnects them as like, okay, we both went through this horrible shit when we were kids, and it's still kind of shit. The fuck's going on? I don't know.
Mhm.
It's also the only time in the game she acknowledges it. If they're on the way to Macro Reactor 5 during Chapter 6, they're talking about where do we get next, and like things like Barrett references the smell of Mako. You better get ready for the smell of Mako. She obviously already knows that. There's actual lines from the original game of Sephiroth saying the stench of Mako is pretty bad here in Nibelheim. So Tifa's already familiar with all that, but doesn't address it. She makes no reference. Like, see if you play through the game again, Tifa. There are times where Tifa can acknowledge what happened 5 years ago, but chooses not to.
Mm-hmm.
So in the resolution scene, it's actually the only time where she makes reference to this happened to us. It doesn't occur anywhere else, which I think is one of what makes it so special.
I agree. I think in terms of, I think that or the scene with Zach at the end definitely fucking hit super duper hard for me. Just that, like, just I don't know. It's so good. I've already.
I watched that on. I watched you play that one on live. Actually, that was fun.
Yeah, it's just such a good scene. Such a scene that you're like, one of those like, man, what if he won this time, and then he did, and you're just, I freaked out. It's so good. Even if whatever your stance on it, them changing stuff, it's just like just to see that he did it is just such a nice fucking feeling.
I have a little bit of a different approach for favorite scenes, because there are so many favorite moments and scenes, and I choose the first time that Barrett sings the victory fanfare. And as a bonus, the Fire 5, like when Red slaps Barrett's hand away with his tail, and Red's Smile. Chapter 8.
Smile,
those three. So just small little details that just brighten my day.
Dog on Bike was pretty good too.
Yeah,
that was an excellent scene.
Bike dog,
for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mine is actually when you first encounter the Tonberry, that little extra. I love those things. They're so like derpy and blank, but they're so menacing. Like they're just so I don't know. He was just bullying the town. Just this little tiny thing, so menacing, bullying the town, and you see its little knife, and it's just like slowly walking over to you, and it's just like it creates anxiety because you're like, it's close to me, it's gonna stab me. It's like this little tiny green thing, and it's just so menacing, and I loved when it showed up.
The funny thing about that scene is that those who know the Tonberry, they just recoil in fear. And those who don't, such a cute little thing.
Yeah, I didn't have time to like actually set this up or whatever, but Viz sent me a bunch of clips from his playthrough, and one of them was the Tonberry. And like, and he's like, the Tonberry, it's like one of his favorite things. And then like all of a sudden, just wipe out Barrett, wipes Tifa, and then wipes Scott, and then he just like looks at the camera and just goes, "I love and hate Tonberry so much." Just a quick wipe of the entire party. Yeah. Anybody else? Favorite moment?
Sleep Easy Go. So that way I don't.
So it doesn't steal. So you don't steal Sleep Easy.
I'm gonna go off the rails and say that I think the reveal of Deep Ground and Intergrade is probably one of my favorite things that's happened. I'm not even kidding. I just never felt so much euphoria seeing something for like I having like, just because there again countless moments, but I think that was just a huge like weird sort of euphoric release for me to see Deep Ground involved in the events of, like, I don't even care if it burns the rest of the series to the ground. Like, I don't care. Like, I got something so like that felt so like, I don't know, intangible. Like there was no fucking way that was ever gonna happen, and then it just happened. And I think
I'm happy one person is happy about it.
One person. Which scene is this? Sorry, I just got back.
I was so happy when it actually happened for me personally. But my second thought was there's an entire community that's just gone, fuck, Sleep Easy was right.
What scene is this?
This is the Deep Ground Integrate trailer.
It was the trailer, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think
The second I saw it, I immediately thought of you.
I was thinking,
Oh my
I was
God.
thinking for Mo and Shade MP, who's also a very very dedicated. Like I've never just seen like him. First of all, him post in such succession after like that reveal, and just seeing how excited he was. It was just like this. It was like a win that no one ever thought was a win or ever gonna happen, and it happened.
Do you still have the VOD? Do you still have the VOD for that?
I do. I have it downloaded. I'll be releasing like.
Please do. I need to rewatch. I want to watch you watching it.
I'll be releasing that video before my video series comes out, as into like just for celebration purposes. But
So
it
the
was
next,
just
like,
such
year.
a weird. And also, I'll say that the enjoyment of me also thinking that so much of the fan base was suffering, knowing that Deep Ground was going to be involved, was also a part of my enjoyment of it. It's like Vice is like the top of the cake. I think it also just allows us to like assess truly like what the coming events are going to be giving us people who are like looking into like this stuff, like the possibilities at this point are endless. Like if the Harbinger was like kicking the door open, like Vice became literally the pit of like everything is in. And
in a really weird way, when they're just like, yeah, Weiss is a thing. I don't know. It's like they
if
spit
they
in
mess
your face,
up the
but you
Weiss
kind of
stuff-
like it. It's like if it's like okay, if the way they handle it is really bad, at least I'll be like, okay, it can't get any worse than that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If it's like
That's the. I think
bad
people
as
are
it's gonna
worried.
get.
I think people are super worried. I think seeing Max's reaction to that too, where he like physically recoiled from the trailer. I was just like, that's how I'm picturing every like sane member of this community acting, and I'm just so ready.
But I think it's amazing that after so many months, people finally, you know, got over the fact that Zach was still alive at the end of it, only for this to happen.
Only for this to happen.
Zach,
that's so true. That's so true, Mo.
Weiss is gonna kill Zach.
Oh, seriously,
please. Okay.
Why are people even surprised? Because Deep Ground was in the base game already.
You're fucking speaking to a choir here,
Yeah.
You're speaking to the choir here.
Why?
No,
Speaking to the fucking head priest. What are you talking about?
Speak to the frog.
Everybody's all wrong.
Speak to the frog.
Yeah.
I'm
Frog,
listening.
the head frog.
Totally sane. No, you're right though. I agree completely, dude.
Point being, if you didn't play Dirge, you're a fake fucking fan, man. Out of the loop, baby.
Who knew that the people in charge of gatekeeping the Lord was gonna be Dirge of Cerberus?
Sorry, Dirge players. No one likes that.
Well, if you know the history of Deep Ground, this is what's
For the
going
most
on.
part, they're just Dirge YouTube watchers. People didn't actually play like it.
That's like what I was telling Sleep Easy last time we spoke on Baby Seal's stream. That I was like, don't worry, man. This is all everything leading up to this moment, right? This is it. This is your moment. You're gonna be the guy that covers everything Dirge related because nobody else wants to do it. You got this. You got this, man. You have all the knowledge, the information, and you probably even wrote the story. I don't know, but you got all of it.
Where did they get that from?
I don't know.
Sleep
Definitely
Easy's the
not
only
anybody
person-
in this room right now. Dude, how hot is it in here, dude? This is weird.
I'll turn the heat down on the
Am I
tub.
sweating?
You should take your pants off, Sleep Easy.
All right, finally, the Piper is
party.
Finally free.
I only played Dirge once, and I remember when I saw Vice in the trailer, I had no reaction. I was like, I looked at the chat, and everybody's like, Weiss. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy?
I think that's
Who's that guy?
I think that's one playthrough too many, to be honest.
I went to after seeing the state of play, and I was talking to Tatsu and a couple other people. I was like, because Tatsu had not finished Remake at that point, I was like, Man,
I went
like,
blackout. I was not allowed on the internet.
It's so weird that they didn't announce anything at the state of play. Nothing Final Fantasy VII, literally, like
almost
three
broke.
fucking
Almost
trailers.
broke my microphone when that
It's
happened.
too much shit, dude. I was so overwhelmed. So like that
I
was
called
like
Weiss too. As a passing joke, I said, yeah, they're gonna bring back the guy.
Watch them make Deep Ground the
Weiss
most
guy.
important thing in the game.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Wouldn't that be
well,
funny?
boy.
I was like, I don't know, dude. I don't. No.
You summoned him.
He's so nervous. Man.
Real quick, my favorite moment, so that these guys can play the game is Edge of Creation. I think
I was thinking the same thing.
Shut up.
I was.
That scene was, I think, the boldest. That was the scene when I was like, these guys have the most massive nuts I could possibly imagine. It was awesome. I mean, everything down to the performances during that scene were really good, and then just like Sephiroth being elevated to this ominous threat level that was like far beyond, like he turned into Jaws, because when he like thwarted Omnislash, like frame for frame, like it was nothing, then you knew like we're in a whole new game, and this is a bold move. And everything about Tyler Hoechlin's performance as Sephiroth, I was sold on it at that point. Like, hey, this guy is going to be a good Sephiroth.
You just got to be Superman, and you could be Sephiroth. Henry Cavill's next.
That's right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I just very quickly, I right as when Remake first released, after the demo, you know, I kind of felt this anyway, but certainly after the full game released, I couldn't quite articulate exactly how I was feeling, and one of my friends kind of nailed it on the head for me, that Remake felt like I was going home. And that really stuck with me, that particular phrase. And as much as I loved the Sector 7, like Chapter 3, when we first get to play Sector 7, you know, that was just incredible, absolutely incredible, just being able to walk around and absorb it. But I think the place where I felt it most was going back to the moment where Cloud and Aerith leave the church, and you hit the sunlight, and you can walk over the rooftops and actually just view the underside of the plate and view the Sector 5 rubble, and it's got that really soft music playing, and it's just, I think that's my favorite moment in the remake, that the moment that best encapsulates the feeling of going home.
Surprised that this one wasn't said, and I didn't even see it in chat actually. The VR sequence that described the ancients, that was I was tossed up
there. Yeah.
For sure.
That was amazing. So Vinny, did you give your favorite moment?
Yeah, it was the Tom Berry.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I didn't forget you this time. You know what I mean? I'm
Oh,
just trying to move it
all
along.
right.
Well,
All right, here we go. So,
bitches.
we go to the favorite chapter. Your favorite chapter in the game. I guess this kind of coincides a little bit with favorite moment, but all in all, favorite chapter of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I've already said it. My favorite chapter is chapter 1. That was it. Like for the same exact reasons as I said before. Just it evokes so many emotions in me, and I still get chills every time.
The game was just downhill from there.
That's
the
right.
game was just downhill from there. No, I'm just kidding. I can't say that.
Chapter 3 for me was more like being able to walk around like Sector 7 and seeing that they turned this place that was just one screen into like a hub, sort of, you know. And it's just being able to also, like, you know, experience like Tifa's combat too over there, and like the different interactions Cloud was having with people around Sector 7, just really expanding the way the slums and stuff works. That even when I was playing it last night, people were like, "Oh, you can skip. Why don't you skip chapter 3? Nothing happens there." I'm like, "What do you mean nothing happens here? It's my favorite chapter. What are you talking about, man?
Are you kidding me?
Mods, ban this man."
I'm just like Mo on that one too. Like when I got to that chapter, just I stop and take it all in. Just looking up. I think it was the very first thing I did too. Just look up, and it's just amazing. The plate was a lot higher than I imagined, but I like that though. It's fine. I was just like, this is crazy how you're the camera's behind Cloud, and now it's a whole new thing. I loved it, man. So yeah, that was up there for me as well. What about you? What about you, Viz?
It's a tie between several one, but in the end, I think I'll choose chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, because it's like 5 minutes of gameplay stretched to 2 hours or something, but full of content, and you really feel the aftermath of the bombing, of the explosion. It's really at first let's talk to this guy, let's listen to those, and then minute after minute it's got more real, and it's like, whoa, crap, that's real something. They did a really good job. And then you meet Sephiroth, and then you meet Aerith, and then the Whispers come, and then Cloud needs to evade the others along a really, really great soundtrack. Let the Battles Begin, Breakthrough. It's closely behind Airbuster for me. It's really, really good. And this whole sequence, and then in a train, the gears shift again to talk to other people. Barrett is almost kind of falling out with the other 3 Shinra employees. It's just everything in this chapter 2. It encapsulates so many facets and has so many sides to it, and so much packed into it. And it's not just padding. I love it.
Yeah, awesome pick. Baby Seal.
I think chapter 9, if I had to pick just one chapter, has like Hell House and the honeybee dance scene. It's like the perfect apex to the action, and like the Coliseum fights are actually super fun the first time you play them, like the buildup of character and stuff like that. And like it's really funny how the crowd starts to like turn towards you, like you're just this weird random dude with a sword and a flower girl, and you just obliterating like like sentient houses and stuff like that. It's a fun time. And then the apex is this crazy dance scene. So I think chapter 9.
Yeah, I would agree, only if it wasn't for the big like long tunnel with the moving hands, and you're just like, oh please, let me just get to
and
this.
Having to redo that for the
for the
trophy.
I'm still convinced Aerith like legit went and set up, like she shadow cloned or something like that. Sent a shadow clone over there to pull up all the ladders and set up the arms and everything like that. What the fuck with Cloud? It's her frame of dialogue. She's like, oh, it's an arm. It's kind of cute, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? And then at the end, when you finally get through it all and you're getting ready to leave, he's like, wait, I should just take you back home now. Like, what about all those monsters? She's like, nah, I have another shortcut with no monsters. And we're like, so why didn't we take that one?
I think the idea about the big robotic hand is just to emphasize the high five moment.
Yeah,
well, that's also
like
good.
That
Yeah,
that was a cool moment.
The big robotic hand is in the original too. It's just set decoration.
Yep. Or the yellow,
And also
it's
a
like a yellow
mislead. You don't even
Cool
have
way
to,
they use it,
You don't even have to walk up it in that.
I was
Yeah.
stuck that. Oh, I was lost there for like 10 minutes.
I would be
Stupid
fine with
plank.
it. I would be
Yeah,
fine
Fucking
with it.
flank. Like, wait, I
How
can
do
walk
you-
up this?
You get out over there, dude.
Cloud
was
can
more in-depth
literally
puzzle,
jump that
would've been
height.
Yeah,
Why not just get fucking Cloud to jump
Aerith
up?
can't.
And
Jump up.
let the lad
dude, he
then
can cut
let
a
the
train in
ladder down.
half. Why can't he just jump around all the trains in the train graveyard and save? God, this game
I
sucks.
don't know, lore, man. Why don't you
God.
answer? Why don't you tell me, Mr. Lore Guy?
Yeah, I don't.
He cut a
fucking,
build-
I don't know.
He cut buildings
There's a
and
reason
trains
for
in
that.
half. This man was cutting
Three-
buildings and trains.
His
in
legs
half,
hurt. He
and-
just did a bunch of squats. Maybe.
You're
I don't
you're
know.
from
See,
dude.
see if you read the panels between the loading screens correctly, it does actually say Ghost Mist stops jumping. So
Yeah, come on.
obviously,
Is this something introduced in the Spyro games that I'm just not connecting?
Spyro convention.
That's correct.
All about
yeah,
it.
the John Bentley version. Yeah,
John Bentley Spyro edition, Steelbook coming out. soon.
Yeah, wait till you see Blitz's combat videos about it. It's,
Yeah, I got you guys, man.
Spyro combat tips.
Man.
Oh,
cannot jump in
press
the
square
train graveyard.
to charge.
That's it. You're
Vinny.
a pro now.
Yeah, Ultima gets it.
Mine, I agree with Baby Seal. 9 is my favorite chapter. It was a nice pacing that halfway through the game was just like really nice pacing. It was fun, and I grew up in New York City, and if New York was compressed into a town, it would be Wall Market, because there was just a little bit of everything, and you had like everybody's different. And one thing I always felt about New York was like New York is the one place that I've ever been to that you could feel invisible surrounded by millions of people. And you just get that at Wall Market. Like nobody cares about what you're doing.
That's why Peter
like,
Parker never gets found. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I've been wondering. I'm joking.
No, that's not a bad point.
It was a kind of nostalgic because I moved away from New York, and it's just nostalgic whenever I get to like play games that involve New York, like the Division. It was a lot of fun running around the Division. I was just like, oh, it's not in this game, but there's a bakery here. I know I need to go there, like stuff like that. And Wall Market was just like a nice little taste of home, basically. Just the craziness and everything being so big but yet so small. There's just like a million different stories happening. If you talk to all the NPCs, everybody has something going on. I like Wall Market a lot, so that was probably my favorite chapter.
Awesome.
And for me,
Easy.
Wall Market reminds me
no,
much
please.
more of a Japanese town, small Japanese town with all the stands, the little alleys and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Sleep? You sleep?
I'm here. Easy,
Sleep's
dude. Easy.
Easy.
I really like just the entire energy and that propels me through the entire game, which is just the first chapter. Everything that starts,
I was going to say that as well, yeah.
Everything that starts and ends in that, it just feels like, wow, like the attention to just like carrying momentum after momentum after momentum, like the zoom out on Aerith, like everything's fucking perfect, dude.
Yeah.
It's literally perfect. And it sets up everything else in the story, in my opinion, as well. So like, that's a perfect example for me of like, here's retaining the original image of the game, but also just so subtly injecting the rest of the story at the same time. And I think that's my favorite thing. I think there's just too many like just subtle little drops in there that are perfect. And I also got very emotional during the opening. So I think just that feeling of like, oh my God, this is like, I'm about to like go on this journey again, or a new one, or whatever it is. It was just very overwhelming. So
yeah. Awesome. Tatsu?
Same as Sleep Easy. First one, I feel like it captures the original, like, kind of lightning in a bottle opening that the original had. It captures it really well. It's just so good. He took all the things I was going to say, but I'm not being a baby about it. So,
I mean, that's not obviously not being a baby about it right now. That's for sure.
No, it's just so good. And every other, I think it's the most memorable for me for probably. What are you laughing at? You got something you want to say?
I'm just realizing that I'm the runt of all of you guys. That's what I'm realizing. I'm the one who's getting thrown under the bus.
No,
oh yeah.
But yeah, chapter 1 is someone in chat said it was like the pilot episode. It's something like I feel like I could show someone chapter 1 alone, standalone, be like, here's chapter 1. They could play through it and they'd be like, damn, wow. I kind of like and that's a good way to. It's not like it doesn't feel like a tutorial. It feels very
probably
much
why
like,
they used it as the demo.
Yeah,
I mean, you got the demo. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that they went old school with it and released that as a demo. But yeah, amazing. Chapter 1 was amazing. I'm trying to see if chat said anything different. That was the. Let's see. We got somebody who said chapter 4, chapter 12, chapter 3, 18. Oh, 18 from Kreisman. Yeah, the ending. Yeah,
Am I allowed to go, or am I just waiting?
I think that's awesome. What's up?
Am I allowed to answer, or should I just wait on chat?
Oh,
Oh my god, dude.
Wow.
He's fucking. He asked for on the show.
We got some sassy fuckers in this call.
Yeah, we're all going in.
I
Actually,
only
Mo,
joined
you're out of
this
time.
after my KoopaCon Heights. I only joined this so I could answer this question.
Oh, really?
And also to be a bigger baby than Sleep Easy.
Good luck.
Don't do that to
Mission
yourself.
accomplished.
You're too. You guys are just.
What'd you
I
say,
love
Run?
every single one
Anyways.
of you. Oh shit.
He also, I was Tracy. I've totally fucked up because I was waiting on you asking me so I could make a joke, and now
Do it for the we'll fix it in post. Go ahead and ask him.
like there's like 3 layers of fucked up here.
So what was your favorite?
I don't want to tell you now.
I don't know. I mean, Mo said at 2 o'clock you were gonna have to jump off, so I believe you're out of time. And we're. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, man. What was your favorite, Mo? I really want to know. Like I do.
Very very quickly, I kind of agree that with sort of Blitz that the chapter 3 was really special. Chapter 8 was also really special. I personally don't have a preference between Aerith and Tifa, but I think if it was between those two, I would go with chapter 8 just because of the volume of content, but also because it's a bit further on in the story, so there's more going on. I found that really quite chapter 8. Yeah, I think just for volume of content, it was amazing.
Yeah, good pick, man. Ultima says Platefall. Yeah, there you go. It says Platefall. It wasn't flawless, but I was shaking my head in disbelief in how good they managed to do it. Yeah, Platefall. I
had
enjoyed
music during it too. The music
the day
during
Midgar
that
stood
too.
still,
World.
though.
Fantastic.
I can't wait to play the day Midgar stood still on the PS5, like Intergrade, because I mean, I look past it. I was fine with it or whatever. The backdrops were a little low res and stuff, but I'm excited to play it on Intergrade because it looks
I
like
did
they
not look
cut
past
a little
it. It bothered the shit out
Did
of me.
it really?
Oh my
Did
god!
it really
they
bother
did
you?
so much? All of those bothered me so much.
Oh, okay.
As
Well,
somebody that really
a little
loves
weird,
the game,
yeah.
I hated the backgrounds with my entire heart. But that's
Chapter
because I do
5?
that.
I think it was chapter 5 or 6. Like that one. That one really bothered me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely wrong perspective.
The one where you're looking down on the slums,
Yeah.
that was a little rough. Yeah, no,
Ugh.
but I'm talking about the day Midgar stood
Yeah.
still. I thought that was looking out
Yeah.
into the sunset and everything.
Yeah,
I thought
I'm
that was
very
beautiful.
excited for that.
But, yeah,
Yeah, they highlighted
so-
that one specifically.
they highlighted that one. Yeah, in remake, yes, or integrate. I mean,
Yeah, in the
yes,
trailer.
I was excited because I was spending was it 2 days ago or yesterday? I was like, I want to play some remake again. I just got to play it, and I just spent most of the time trying to capture good photos. Like I'm like, I can't wait for freaking photo mode.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be great.
Me too.
Yeah.
All these
wanna
people
have
complain
so
about
many-
my Tifa thumbnails. Wait till they see my old lady with the broom thumbnails.
Yeah, it's gonna be all of them, all of your
Oh, bro.
thumbnails.
She getting
all right.
highlighted.
Yeah.
So,
By the way,
go ahead.
favorite boss fight, Scorpion Sentinel. I'm the biggest baby in the room right now.
Oh no, I love it.
Oh no, did I skip you? Did I skip you? No.
Wow, that was
By the way, 2
was-
questions back when you asked, I'd like to answer that now.
Yeah.
The Scorpion, nice. Yes.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
The timing of it was perfect.
Oh my god.
Did you guys get wrecked on the Scorpion the first time you fought? Like just because you didn't really understand the controls as well, or did you figure it out?
Was
Figured
good.
it out
Took
pretty
me
good?
just a
It's pretty
second.
good.
Yeah. Like
I didn't have too
it
much
was
trouble.
at first I was like, oh man, okay, so this is gonna be like kind of Kingdom Hearts style. Okay, cool. I'm going into it, and then when I played it at E3, I was just like, okay, this is more than Kingdom Hearts. This is okay. I see what they're doing here. ATB bars, really cool. I just fell in love with the battle system.
I think the
And-
game like completely like as soon as you start playing it and thinking anything Kingdom Hearts related, it like actively is like you better not fucking think that this is what that game is. Like it just totally don't do that. Don't try and do that.
No jump for you.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, no.
Air
I feel like they
combos
should bring a
automated,
jump.
but Whatever, dude.
Yeah, the no jump button threw me off for a good like chunk of that demo when I played it. I was like, oh man, I can't jump. This is weird. What's going on? It slows down time. But yeah, that I love the combat so much that I'll just like there's nothing else for me to do in the game. I just go into it and just do the combat sim. I've already done it 100 times. There's nothing to come out of this but just enjoy the combat system more. So if there was one thing that I think Remake did better than anything was just bring the combat system to life that took from the original and combined it with new, and I freaking love it. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
So many different flavors for the combat too. Like, you know, looking at I didn't see Baby Seal's run through of the Top Secrets fight, but knowing like you got a 108 you said was your time, you probably utilized the hell out of those shortcuts. Like,
yeah, I had to use
very yeah. So like that,
yeah,
it's so flexible. I love that.
I do actually wish that we had two sets of shortcuts like Kingdom Hearts does.
Yeah,
that's maybe in the sequel.
Yeah,
maybe in the next installment, because I truly feel like they're going to bring in team attacks, and I feel like they're testing it out with Intergrade. And I've said this before on Final Forecast, I believe it was, where I think they're testing out Sonnen because there's another spear wielding character that they might be testing out how
tea drinking, spear wielding, wife battery.
Kate Sif. Yeah,
it's
Kate
definitely
Sif. Just
that good old spear wielder, Kate Sif.
Domestic.
Please, somebody draw that.
Again, dude, 3 fucking projects, dude.
Yeah, except instead of a spear, it's a cigarette.
That's right. It's a giant lit cigarette.
It's a giant cigarette,
and he just puts it out on his enemies.
All right, Mo, how are you looking on time?
Yeah, and I think we need to, or at least I need to wrap up.
Okay.
I think a lot of us are in that boat.
Yeah.
In that boat. No problem. Yeah, the game that I had was just it was just a little fun game, spin-off of a 5-second rule. So we don't have to play that tonight. We had a great conversation. And I'll save that for another night.
Sounds fun.
I'll definitely be back for that for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll play it on your stream. Yeah. when we have you on. So yeah, awesome time, guys. Thank you so much for spending 4 hours with us like that.
Yeah.
That's just thank you so much.
Consistently too, which is just a testament to just how much you can stand from all of us, all of us combined. That's a pretty impressive feat for 60 people, I think.
Yeah. I really, really thank you all in chat, and thank you everyone who gifted subs, and you guys are insane. And thank you for staying active in chat, giving your thoughts on it. I really cannot say thank you enough for being part of the Final Fantasy community and FFTV, showing up for everybody who's here today. Once again, I do want to say, please go show love to everybody who's here right now. We got Baby Seal, who does the SEAL Team 7. We're talking theory videos or theory just with the community.
I've got Pez next week.
Got Pez next week, and also Sleep Easy shows up on that a lot. So I think every episode so far, and Sleep Easy also does video theory essayist. He's an essayist. An essayist. And so check out his YouTube. Amazing stuff there. Viz of Cosmo Canyon Observatory got great things going on with the news segment that you guys are going to bring out. That's really exciting too. And Mo, the Norse myths that inspired Final Fantasy VII. Please grab that book. You can purchase it off of Amazon. Can purchase it off of Amazon. The Nibelheim.
He's got him ready.
He's ready, man. That's what I'm talking about. They're amazing books, really, truly. And I said I left this in my review, but I feel like after reading his book, and I'm not like even kind of exaggerating, you have a really good understanding of where the mindset of Nojima is, and I think he does a great job of getting inside the mind.
Because he is Nojima.
Of Nojima.
That's right.
I've cheated a bit there.
And Blitz. Yeah. Thank you so much, Blitz, for being here. First time talking to you. I hope you had a great time.
Oh, I had a blast, dude.
Awesome.
And great group of people here, man. Just an amazing community behind us as well. And I just want to like, say too, like, I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me. And like, I mean, I literally just started using social media, like seriously, like a couple weeks ago. So I'm really thankful
Nice.
that like each of you guys have reached out to me about this. And like, it actually made me step out of my bubble and like reach out to people like, John, Eric Bentley, and like Alex and stuff. And I'm also getting them on the channel too, which is pretty dope. So I just want to tell people like in the chat, like, no matter how small or like minuscule you think, your content is, whatever it is you're trying to do, don't ever be afraid to take that shot, because you're like, what is it? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Right.
Yep.
I really appreciate you guys like bringing me on here and like, just getting to know you guys, man. You guys are awesome.
Dude, you're so cool.
Likewise.
Right back at
Yeah, exactly.
100%, man.
Heck yeah, pleasure to meet
That's
you.
true. That's where FFTVs. That's why we've
Yeah.
what we've been doing, the mindset since we started this thing. So you gotta reach out, and Mo was the very first person I reached out to. So
And it's all been downhill from there.
we've come in late, and it's all been downhill from there.
Way fucking downhill, dude.
He reaches back, dude.
He reaches back,
He
dude.
reaches back.
Back and around.
Happy birthday,
Cheers,
Final
cheers,
Fantasy.
Vinny. Cheers, Vinny.
Happy birthday!
Happy
birthday.
birthday, Final Fantasy VII
HBD.
Happy
Remake.
birthday, Final Fantasy.
Is Soldier streaming right now?
One person I do want to say a big shout out to, Crabbe in the chat right now. He says, "Thank you, Final Fantasy TV, for rounding up these fine gentlemen." I want to give a big shout out to Crabbe because over the week reached out to me and clicked. We had a great time, like just great conversation, and made a really good friend. And all he wants to do is just help others. And I think that's just awesome when somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, how can I help?" And that's just amazing. So please, he started a brand new Twitch channel, going to be doing some new stuff. Go over there, check him out as well. Let's see who we can just raid, and we're gonna just
Unilesco.
we're gonna go ahead.
Streaming.
Oh yeah, Yuna's on.
Just
I
one-
rated her last
one-
time. I rated her stream last time. Let's see if we
Yeah,
can.
Brianna White is on right now, I think.
I was gonna say
Brianna
she's
White?
keeping up the
All right,
the
we're gonna go
celebration.
over to Brianna White and make sure you go in there and you tell her that you need to be on Final Fan TV.
Oh yeah.
All right, we will.
Chill, guys. Just chill as much as you can.
Reserve me a spot for that. All right?
It's Robert. Thank you for the prime as well. That's awesome. Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks, Robert.
Wow. Dude,
That's,
thank you so much.
That's
And
Robert
I would just like to give a shout out to Alex Main as well for actually arranging the Final Fantasy remake anniversary reunion. I'm sure you guys agree, it was actually an amazing show.
Oh, fantastic.
And I think it's quite an astonishing achievement. So I think if you haven't already seen it, it will actually be up on Facebook to watch for free. And seeing all the cast together was amazing. So yeah, big massive shout out to Alex for actually doing that.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
100%, man. What a
Congratulations
show.
again,
What a birthday for Final Fantasy VII remake. Thank you guys
Pretty
for
awesome celebration.
spending it with us as well. You guys want to raid Brianna, and then
Raid the Strange Rebel.
you have a mission.
Yeah,
Let's get her on. Let's get her on FFTV. Let's get
do
her
it.
on
God.
FFTV. All right, guys, here we go. Thank you so much for watching. This
Bye,
has been
guys.
the Final Fantasy Entertainment and Podcast Network, Final Fan TV. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Happy
everyone.
birthday.
I
Bye.
love
Stay
you.
safe and take care.
Peace.
Okay,
It never ended, and just leave it on, and we'll stay